I reckon that's all we can do for him, kids. You'd like me to say some words over him?
Ain't anything to say.
Ought to be some flowers.
I'd be able to find some if we looked around.
Nah, there ain't any.
I got a red hair ribbon he brought me once.
I think it'd be real nice. Pretty red hair ribbon would be right nice.
I'll go get it.
Know something? I've been here most all morning, and I still ain't got you two gals straight in my mind. Now, which one are you, Will or Charlie?
Will.
Will. Is that short for Willa or something like that?
No, just Will.
Kind of a peculiar name for a couple of gals, ain't it? Will and Charlie.
What'd you say your name was? Hoss?
That's right. Hoss.
You mean like a critter?
Yeah, like a critter.
I don't think I'd take on about names like Will and Charlie if I had a name like Hoss.
You want something?
Yeah, I'd sort of like to talk to you for a minute if I could.
What about?
About you and your little sister. I mean, you're being left here alone and all.
We'll make out. You want me to thank you for burying Pa? All right, thank you. And now you can ride on out, because we don't need you no more.
If I hadn't a chance to ride in here this morning to get some water for my horse, you'd have been in a peck of trouble.
I said thanks, didn't I?
Look, Charlie, you can't just stay here alone.
Ain't gonna stay here.
Where you gonna go? You got kin folks?
We got Aunt Chloe.
Yeah? Where does she live?
She lives
In Cantle.
All right. You come along and I'll see to it you get to her.
You don't have to. We don't want you to. Can't you understand that? We'll get there by ourselves.
Well, I'm sorry, but you do. That's the way it's got to be. I ain't about to let the two of you young'uns get out on that desert all by yourself. Now, you get your paraphernalia all collected here and get it ready, and I'm going to go out and saddle your horse.
Don't you dare say nothing to him or to nobody else. You understand?
Yes.
It wasn't buried with him. Yeah, I don't think it's around here no place.
Don't look that way, do it.
That double-crossing snake. He was no good. After all you've done for him. Look what he's done to us.
What do you mean, done to us? He's been taken care of. Just one less share. Now, come on, we wasted enough time around here. Get Lou and Con out of that shack.
Con? Lou? Blake says get out here.
Hey, Comrade. This place ain't fit to raise pigs in. There's nothing here.
Now, Tully, come here. I spent some time out there checking on tracks. I found out plenty, too. Now, somebody rode in here yesterday and buried Gallagher, then rode out again with his kids. And that ain't all he rode out with. I'll bet on that.
Yesterday? Then we've still got a chance?
Con? You know Gallagher better than the rest of us. Do they have any friends or relatives?
Friends? That snake? Most likely hatched from under a rock.
Maybe some drifter happened by.
No drifter's gonna take the chance on slowing himself down with 2 kids tagging along once he had his hands on that bundle of ours. No. Now, come here. Let me show you something. This whole stretch of desert here is just one big trap. And Gallagher's partner or friend or whoever he is heading right into it. Now, we're here at Gallagher's place. Our man is making tracks in a beeline to Cantle. Right here. Now, only 2 ways out of Cantle. One over the mountains by stagecoach this way. The other out across the desert this way. Now, if they're going out through the desert, they have to go to a place called Furnace Wells. Right here. It's the only place that has water at this time of year. Now, Lou. I want you to ride directly to Furnace Wells. And if they head that way, you'll be sitting there, waiting on them. Con, I want you to ride across country. Right here. They have a relay station. I want you to check out every coach that goes through there.
Well, what about me?
Well, you'll ride with me. We'll trail them. They got a day's ride on us, but it's a 2-day ride to Cantle. With any kind of luck, we got a good chance. He can't be making good time trailing those kids along with him. Now, let's get going.
Come on. What is it, really? I mean, is it something like Willow? I think Willow'd be a pretty name for a little gal.
Who goes naming me after a tree?
Yeah. Well, what about Willowall? You know what a Willowall is? It's a great big wind.
Nah, that ain't a real name.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm just mean enough to keep calling you that if you don't tell me what your real one is.
Well, it's Wilhelmina, but don't you use it on me. It's a terrible name.
I don't think it's so bad.
It's terrible. Charlie's ain't so bad. Her whole name is Charlotte, but...
What'd you tell him that for? I ought to whack you good.
Now, wait a minute. Here, hold on a minute. I tell you what, I'll forget the whole thing. As far as I'm concerned, you're just plain Charlie and she's just plain Will. You'll never hear me call you by them other names again.
Your bed's all made up. Time you was in it.
It ain't even dark yet. Hardly.
Now, you go on now.
Yeah, why do you always have to be so bossy?
'Cause Pa said you was to mind me. He's... Guessed I shouldn't have said that about Pa. Guess she'd almost forgotten for a while.
Charlie, what happened to your Pa? I mean, how did he get shot?
I don't know. He just came home like that. Hurt. Never told us who'd done it.
Have any enemies? Anybody want to see him hurt?
Wasn't anybody like that. Pa was always helping folks out. Everybody liked him. I told you to get to bed.
I forgot Judge Telford.
Judge who?
Judge Telford. You want to see him?
Good gracious, get that thing out of here, honey. Them things dangerous.
He gets cranky being shut up all day.
Strange pet, ain't it, for a little gal?
Well, I had a puppy once, but it ran off. Charlie said most likely coyotes ate it. Anyways, Judge Telford ain't gonna run off. Even if he did, I bet nobody eat him.
Yeah, it ain't too likely.
Go to bed.
Yeah. Good night, Hoss.
Night, sweetie. Must be a pretty lonely life for a little young'un to have to turn to a scorpion for a friend.
It's always lonesome on a ranch. Didn't you say you grew up on one?
Yeah, but I had my pa and brothers.
You got brothers? How many?
2.
Gee, bet it's great having brothers. We was gonna have some, only Ma died when Will was born. Pa was gonna raise a whole family of boys like the ones he come from. You know, he had 5 brothers.
Is that a fact?
Yeah, they was famous in Boston where they all grew up. Pa used to say all you'd have to do was go down to Scully Square and tell them you're a Gallagher, and they'd just about give you the whole town.
Charlie, your Aunt Chloe, is she your pa's sister or your ma's?
Pa's, his only sister. Like I said, the Gallaghers go in mostly for boys. Ain't you asleep yet?
It's lonesome over here. Ain't you ever coming to bed?
Now, you listen here. You lie down and go to sleep.
Charlie?
What? What's the matter?
Him. He's real nice, Charlie.
All right. He's nice. Now go to sleep.
She all right?
Yeah. She ain't usually such a blame nuisance. Bet she'll be glad to get shut of us tomorrow. Guess we're both kind of a nuisance.
Tell you what, Charlie. When I first run on to you out there and realized I was going to have to take you to Aunt Chloe, I must say I was feeling pretty put out.
Sure, I don't blame you.
But let me tell you something. It ain't been that bad a chore. As a matter of fact, I've kind of enjoyed it. I'm glad we run into each other. I really am.
Yeah? Well, good night.
Night, sweetie. Well, that storekeeper ain't ever heard of your Aunt Chloe. You sure this is where she lives?
Well, I guess so.
How long's it been since you visited her?
I don't know, a long time ago.
What happened to Charlie? Where's she?
Well, I guess she was looking for Aunt Chloe, too.
All right, just come along peaceable now and won't nobody get hurt.
What are you talking about, Sheriff? Where? Come where?
You should have been smart and stayed clear of my town, mister. We don't cotton to kidnappers around here.
Oh, Sheriff, I ain't no
All right, now, come on.
Sheriff,
Let's go.
What'd you do, Charlie? That sheriff.
Aw, shut up. We'll send a letter. They'll turn him loose.
He's an awful nice fella. I wish he could come to Boston with us.
Ain't nobody gonna get to Boston unless we get on that stage. Now, come on.
Late? What day is it? Tuesday, ain't it?
Yeah?
Well, according to my timepiece, I'm just about an hour's shy of being a week early. Say, ain't you girl... I'm sorry. I just wanted to tell you we'll be here about 10 minutes while we change horses. A long way to the top of that summit. That's where we're going to stay the night.
Oh, we don't ride all night?
Oh, no, not over them mountains. They're tricky even in daylight. We're going to sleep up there at Walker's Pass. There's a nice little roadhouse up there. Say, can I get you something, drink of water, maybe?
Yeah.
Well, I better go tend those horses. Well, you girls are...
Hey! Hey! Come back here!
Who was he, Charlie? What did he do that for?
Shut up. Don't say nothing.
That man hurt you at all, kids? Ought to get the sheriff back in town.
No, you don't have to do that. We know him.
You know him?
He's our uncle. Mister, could you rent us a horse? We gotta go back to town.
Go back?
Can you, mister? We'll leave it at the depot in town. Honest, we will.
Are you in some kind of trouble, miss?
We gotta go back. We was running away from home. Didn't figure they'd worry so much about us.
Oh, now, that's all right. We'll take care of you. Well, I guess she knows what she's doing. Better get her a horse.
All right.
Don't you kids worry about a thing. We'll take care of you.
I thought we was going to Boston.
Ain't you got any sense? That fellow's gone back for the others, the bunch that was after Pa.
But I thought he headed back for town. What are we going back there for?
'Cause now they'll all come after the stage thinking we're on it. Only we'll be headed the other way. Now, come on. We gotta hurry.
Wait a minute. Let me put Judge Telford in.
You know, it wasn't my fault them Virginia City folk took all day to answer that telegram.
Must have been a whale of a story that little gal told on me. That's all I can say.
Well, it wasn't just the story. There've been a lot of funny things going on around here.
Like what?
That big express robbery up about 50 miles north of here happened last week. I got instructions to pick up any suspicious-looking strangers and hold them. That's all I was doing.
Yeah? Sheriff, where's my horse?
Well, they're both of them down at the livery stable. But it's kind of late to start traveling. You're welcome to stay here if you'd like.
No, thanks. Doggone, I'd like to know why they done it. You know, I was getting to thinking those two little old tacks was kind of taking a liking to me. See you, Sheriff. Hey, get down off of me. What are you doing?
Aren't you glad to see us?
Glad to see you. I don't know why I should be. I ought to take both of you out and give you a good spanking. That's what I ought to do. How come you to tell that sheriff all them lies on me? How come?
Well, what are you gonna do with us now?
Tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take you to Aunt Chloe and get rid of you. We'll be shut of one another once and for all. Now, for the last time, where's she at?
She's at
Joburg.
Joburg? But Joburg's 30 miles across the desert. All right, if that's what it's going to take, then that's what it's going to be. I'm going to take you to her. Yeah?
Well, as long as we got across the desert, it gets kind of hot out there during the day, you know. Well, why don't we leave right now while it's cool and all? After all, you've been resting all day.
Yep, that's all I've been doing, resting. All right.
Tell it one time more, mister. Just in case you left something out.
Well, they got off the stage at the relay station. They borrowed a horse. They said they'd run away from home and they were going back. And they did. And, mister, that's all I know.
And there wasn't anybody else with them. You're sure of that?
Yes, sir. I'm sure.
All the way back to town. We must have rode right past him coming out here.
The man who was with them. Pretty shrewd. Must have planned it that way. Gave the kids instructions to double back.
One chance at him. All I'd like is one chance.
You'll get it. There's only one place they can get water. One place. Furnace Wells.
Can't we go any faster?
Look, Charlie, you want to kill these horses? What's your big hurry, anyhow?
Well, it's so hot, I figured we could rest the horses when we get to Furnace Wells.
Look, your little sister's half sick now from being so tired. I got some blankets over there. We'll make a lean-to and get in out of the sun for a while.
You're gonna stop here?
Charlie, you looking for somebody?
What makes you say that?
Well, you want to get out of town last night in the middle of the night. Hurrying all day today, I just thought...
I just don't like wasting time. Pa always said, when you make up your mind to do something, you best get it done.
Won't you ease off a little bit? I mean, it ain't like you got to wear the pants in the family now. You got your Aunt Chloe. I mean, you're just a little gal. It'd be different
If I was a boy, whole lots of things would be different if I was a boy. I could have helped Pa make a ranch out of that brush patch back there. Wouldn't have been such a burden to him. He wanted a family of boys so bad it'd like to kill him. Yeah, I guess it did kill him. Because if he hadn't have been so worried about Will and me, about us growing up and not having nothing, he wouldn't have gone and...
Gone and what?
Nothing.
You trying to tell me your pa got himself killed trying to provide for you and Will?
No.
How'd he get shot, Charlie?
I don't know. I told you before, I don't know. Now leave me alone.
Somebody coming. See the haze on the horizon over there? Looks like they're still about a half day away, but they're coming pretty hard and fast, according to all the smoke they're throwing up. Reckon who they are?
I don't know.
Imagine we better be getting on them furnace wells.
Yeah. Please. The desert. He'll probably find another scorpion and raise a whole family. Now, will you quit blubbering over a dumb fool varmint and get on the horse?
Well, I'm afraid he's gone, honey.
These ways he can get inside, out of the sun, if he comes back.
Come on. I'll tell you what. How would you like to ride with me for a while? Okay? Here, right up on old Chub. That's all right.
Lots of tracks. They must have made camp here.
Let's rest the horses a while. Mine's finished.
He'll last. Come on, let's go. What are you doing? I said, let's get going. Hold still. Let me take a look.
Big old granddaddy scorpion. What's left of him.
Scorpion? Folks die from scorpion bites, don't they?
Nothing but a sting.
A sting? My hand's all afire. I gotta get me a doctor.
Come on. I'll take care of it.
No. I'm going back and get me a real doctor.
All the way back to town? Look, you stupid...
I'm going. Don't you try to stop me.
Let him go. Go on, you stupid fool. Go back to town. Now get!
But Blake, you...
Hold it. You won't need this while you're gone. Now get. Go on.
Get!
Scorpion, huh? That dirty. Wait till I catch up with him. Let's go.
See you. You're just in time for supper. Will you help me with a little one?
Yeah, if you would.
Yeah.
Tell you, we're a little more interested in water than we are food. These old horses ain't had much to drink. We run out of water about an hour ago.
Everybody's does. Well, well's right over there. Water's $1 a bucket, so don't spill none.
$1 a bucket?
Well, sure. That's the only well in the whole darn desert. Dug it all myself, all 100 foot of it. Man's got to get something for his labor.
All right. Charlie, take Will on in the house.
Hey, you kids come on with me. I got a real fine supper cooking for you.
just about given up on you. I thought you took the other road.
You be real careful of that thing. You got the wrong man, mister.
Sure. Take it easy. All I want from you is no trouble and $34,000.
30? You're crazy.
I said no trouble. Now, where's it at?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Now, look here, mister.
He got a little too close to the horses and got himself troubled, I reckon.
He sure did.
You know him?
Yes, sir. He came in last night, said he was waiting for friends.
He wouldn't be a friend of yours, would he, Charlie?
No.
Look, Will, you go on with the man and put the horses up. Charlie and I got some talking to do. You ain't been 10 feet away from this since we left your place. I would have known it was no just ordinary laundry bag. Yep. Just about $34,000, like the man said.
It's ours, Hoss. Mine and Will's.
Is it? That sheriff back at Cantle told me about a big express robbery. Happened right here close. Just about the same time your pa got a bullet put through him. That is the money from that robbery, ain't it?
I don't care. Pa gave it to us. He gave it to me and told me to keep it, to go to Boston with it.
You can't do that, Charlie. Your pa, those other men, they stole that money.
Like Pa used to say, sometimes you gotta steal. Some folks, that's the only way they can get anything. They can work all their lives and still have nothing. That's why I'm keeping it.
Charlie, you can't. Your pa was wrong. You can't keep it because it ain't yours.
It is. We paid for it, didn't we? We lost our Pa for it. I ain't gonna let him be dead for nothing. He was too good of a man to die for nothing.
Come on, Charlie. You get you something to eat. Get you some rest, too.
We can't stay here. Now those men coming after us.
Now, you look here. I ain't forgot about them. Don't you worry about them. Good husky bar on that door, and if there's going to be any trouble, this is the place to have it, right here. Look, Charlie. I'd like to be a friend to you and Will, give some help to you. More than just somebody you're using for a while.
Howdy. Right glad to see you. Out kind of early, ain't you?
Did you see anything of a man riding through here with two kids?
Oh, yes, sir. They was here. Right lively bunch they was, too.
Tully, check the house.
You know them two youngsters snuck out in the middle of the night? And this other one, well, he woke up and smoked right after him. He was real upset. When I got up, I walked around, too. And you know what? Somebody had gone and broke into my storehouse. You know what they took? 2 50-pound sacks of salt. Well, now, that had me real stumped. What did they want with all that salt? Well, I wondered about it, right up until I made my morning's coffee, and then I found out. You know what? They dumped it right into that well, a whole 100 pounds of salt. Ain't that a corker? Well, only water in the whole desert. Well, I gotta move back into town now. It'd take a whole month to get that there salt out of that there well. Couldn't pump that brine out no more.
Shut up, you little fool.
Well, I
I
gotta go and...
Try to get out of there.
Lou's inside. He's all busted up.
Get on your horse.
Let's get some water.
There's no more water. He salted the well.
He what?
If I have to crawl on my hands and knees through all hellfire, I'll get him.
What am I going to have to do? Hog tie you two gals?
Why don't you just let us be?
I told Charlie we ought to not leave you alone when the bad men came. Did they come after we run away?
Not by the time I'd left, they hadn't. Who are they, anyhow?
I don't know.
Well, guess we don't have to worry about them no more then. 'Cause Charlie fixed it so they couldn't follow no farther.
Will, I'm gonna whack you if you don't shut up.
Wait a minute. What do you mean you fixed it?
Nothing. We're gonna sit here in the sun all day?
We're going to stay right here till I find out what you did.
She put salt in the well.
Boy, oh boy, you're just full of tricks, ain't you? Well, I'll tell you one thing for sure, young lady. This money's going back to the folks it belongs to if nothing else happens. That's going to happen, I promise. All right, you two kids smoking on out of here. I'll stay here and talk to them. Go on, get out. You hear me? Get out of here.
Please, please come, Hoss.
All right. We'll give them a run for their money. Come on, let's go. Hit him, hit him. Will, you go and do what she says, you hear?
Will, get up here now.
Go on, Will, you hear? Now, you do what she says. Get out of here. Go on, you gotta.
Oh, Hoss.
What's the matter, mister? You all out of tricks? You can't see me, huh? Well, I want you watching. I want you watching me. I want you to see the slugs coming at you. I've been a long time waiting.
Mister?
Hey, you dang fool kids, get out of here!
Come here.
He didn't know nothing about anything. It was me who did him.
Oh, you gotta be plumb crazy, trying to make me believe it was them two that done it.
There. What my pa took from you.
Why, you're nothing but a kid. The kid run me ragged. Made a fool out of me. You're nothing but a miserable kid.
Gallagher's kid, mister. Guess that makes the difference.
Gallagher's kid, huh? I suppose you're real proud. Proud of a no-good horse thief. Well, it was me. Me gave him the only chance in his whole misbegotten life. And he crossed me. Now I'm gonna give you what I gave him.
Then you're what?
What are you
Charlie, no! Don't, Charlie!
Charlie, you can't do that.
Can't I?
Put the gun away, Charlie.
No. He killed my pa.
Wait a minute. I didn't know your pa. Some of the things he taught you and Will, I ain't in agreement with, but I know one thing for sure. He loved you, and he loved you a lot. And he was proud of you. He was proud of you for being Gallagher's. You can still go back to Boston and Scully Square and meet all them other Gallaghers. But you'll never be able to face them as long as you live if you pull that trigger. Or maybe you don't care. Maybe you just don't care what them Gallaghers would think of you.
Hey, I hear you got some precious cargo going east.
Doggone right, and I'm gonna hold every stage driver from here to Boston personally responsible for them.
Oh, now, you don't worry about that, Horace. All the drivers along the line have been alerted. Them? What a difference. Say, now, you ladies ain't gonna run off on me again, are you?
No.
All right, now, get aboard.
Oh, my, I don't believe I ever saw two prettier little girls in my whole life.
Dresses. Ain't they awful?
Hey, listen, while you was in there getting dolled up for the trip, the sheriff told me that you're likely to pick up a real nice piece of change for catching all them outlaws.
You got the whole bunch?
Well, you did kind of leave them scattered from here to breakfast, but we got them all.
I'll tell you something else. Judging from the sound of that message I got from Boston, all your kinfolks are going to be there waiting for you, including your Aunt Chloe.
And Chloe?
That's right. As a matter of fact, she's the one that wired me. Beats me how anybody in Joburg could send a telegram from Boston. But then, of course, she is a Gallagher, ain't she? Come on, let's get aboard.
If I wrote you a letter, would you write one back?
Sure I will, Will.
Oh, Hoss.
Oh, get out of here. Go. Bye, gals.
Bye, Hoss. Bye. Bye, Hoss. Bye.
Bye, gals. I got a notion that old Boston town is in for some excitement like it ain't seen since that tea party.
Boss, just take a little sip of this water. Easy now. There you go.
Thanks, little brother.
Yes.
Is the doctor in?
No,
When do you expect him?
I don't expect him.
Ma'am, my son's in that wagon. He's been badly hurt, and he needs immediate attention. I'd appreciate it if you can tell me where, when, and how I can see the doctor.
The doctor can't help you, son. He can't help anybody anymore. When the sun sets this evening, you can take my husband and hang him. The law judged my husband a murderer.
Ma'am, is there another doctor in town?
No, none within 50 miles.
I don't want to impose on you, but my son's in great pain. Could bring him into your husband's office until I can decide what to do.
No, you can't bring him in. Mrs. Johns needs a rest.
Oh, Danny, of course, bring him in. I'll do whatever's possible. I often assisted the doctor, and Danny served as his handyman, and between us, maybe we can ease his pain.
Thank you.
Is the doc in?
Across the street, I'm going to get him. Look, as soon as you get Hoss into the house, right on back to the herd, huh?
Well, we'd like to stick around and find out what's wrong.
Oh, look like Paul says. Don't fret over me. I'm going to be all right. You two would do anything to get out a little work, wouldn't you?
Yeah, Hoss is right. Your worrying isn't going to help him or yourselves.
Oh, now, wait a minute, Pa.
Now, don't argue with me. Do as I say. Now, please believe me, it's better this way. You get him into the house, will you?
There ain't nothing in there that you want to see, mister.
Dr. Johnson's in there, isn't he?
That's right. Him and Sheriff Wells got the whole thing to themselves, and it's going to stay that way till this evening.
I'm going to see the doctor.
Now, hold on. They gave me $2 extra to sit here and see that no one gets inside. Now, I'm going to earn them dollars. So now you back off.
Try anything and you're dead.
Sheriff, I come here for help. My son needs help.
He jumped me, Sheriff. Let me have him. Hold it. Put your pistol on the desk. Come on. Now, what's this all about?
Sheriff, all I want is a couple of minutes with the doctor. My son's been injured.
Back outside, Hall. Well, if you're willing to risk your life for a couple of minutes with the doctor, I guess you're entitled to it. 5 minutes, no more. Back off. An arm's length from the bars.
I have a trail herd bedded down about 10 miles from here. Last night, my son got hurt. His horse stumbled and rolled on him, and I think he has some cracked ribs on one side. He's in awful pain.
Why tell me this?
You're a doctor.
Not a doctor. A condemned murderer. I say I couldn't help your son, even if I wanted to.
Well, the sheriff would let you out for a couple of minutes. Just take a look at him. Wouldn't you?
The doc is a condemned murderer. There's nothing I can do to change that.
Well, who can change that?
The only man has that power, Judge Grant.
The Honorable Judge Grant. Judge Franklin Grant. Yes, he has the power. The power of life or death.
Where do I find him?
Last house, north end of town.
Just a minute. I haven't agreed to treat your son. You get permission from Judge Grant. Then we'll talk about it.
Hold on. Don't hope for too much.
You wouldn't like to try that trick again now, would you, mister?
Yes?
Judge Grant?
That's right. What can I do for you?
It's urgent that I talk with you, sir.
Won't you come in? My door's always open to anyone in trouble.
Thanks, sir.
Mr.
Cartwright, Ben Cartwright.
Yes. Won't you sit down, Mr. Cartwright? You're not from around here, are you?
No, sir, from Virginia City.
Yeah, I thought so. I know most of the people in my district.
Judge Grant, I just left my son at Dr. Johns' office. He's been injured. I need your permission to let the doctor examine him, treat him.
That is out of the question.
Well, it could be a matter of life or death, sir.
Last week, Johns killed a man. He was tried and convicted. As a criminal, he has no rights or privileges.
All I want is for the doctor to look after him. I don't know and I don't care about the interpretation of the law.
But I do know and I do care. It's my job to know and care.
Judge, I'm not asking you to set the doctor free. I'm begging you to let him do what he can for my son.
The answer is no.
Well, Judge, there's no other doctor within 50 miles of this place. A horse fell on my son. His rib has been broken.
I gave him something to make him sleep. How'd things turn out with you?
Oh, I failed all the way around.
I think your son has a serious internal injury.
You said you assisted your husband, didn't you? Why can't you do something for him?
don't know enough. I've done everything I can for him already.
What kind of a man is that judge? Risk my son's life on a point of law.
The judge hates my husband.
Hates him?
Let me explain. My husband once treated the judge's wife. And in his opinion, she needed an immediate operation. The judge opposed it. But finally, because she was suffering so much, he gave in, and it was too late. My husband's a fine doctor. But Mrs. Grant's infection was so far advanced, nobody could have saved her. She died on the operating table. The judge blamed my husband.
Feeling this way, he sat in judgment on your husband?
Yes. He condemned him to die, not for Stephen's death, but for his wife's.
The Right Honorable Judge Franklin Grant is about to honor us with his presence. Come in, Your Honor.
Come on, Danny, I'll get you some coffee.
This is your only son?
I have two others.
And you have your wife?
No.
I have no children, no wife. Mr. Cartwright, do you know what it's like to be alone? To lie awake night after night trying to drive back the memories that flood your brain? And force yourself up each morning to face another empty, meaningless day?
I've had such moments.
Yes, I suppose you have. Do you know why I feel the way I do?
Yes, I know.
I'm not a cruel man, Mr. Cartwright. I'm not a callous man. But my wife would be alive today if Johns hadn't... He's not a doctor, he's a butcher. That's why I don't want him to treat your son.
But he is my son. It's my decision as to whether Dr. Johns treats him or not.
Yes, it is your decision. I only hope it's the right one. You come with me now, please. Sheriff, this is Mr. Ben Cartwright.
Oh, we've met, Judge.
Take the prisoner back to his office. Guard him until he attends to Mr. Cartwright's son. Then bring him back here immediately.
Yes, sir. Off?
He's to communicate with no one other than the people directly concerned with young Cartwright's condition.
You heard him? Let him out. You heard the sheriff. Out.
Deputy!
All right, Hope.
Doctor, you said if I got the judge's permission, we'd talk. Let's talk.
You are a very persuasive man, Mr. Cartwright. Either that or a very powerful one. I didn't think you'd be able to do it.
I didn't. It was the judge's doing.
Perhaps. Are you the Ben Cartwright of the Ponderosa?
Yes, I'm the Ben Cartwright.
Well, now, you are a powerful man. And you mean to see that your son gets every chance, don't you?
Yes, I do. Now, please, can we get started?
Well, you know, it must be a comforting feeling to have wealth and power. I wouldn't know. I've never had either one. You see, all my wife will have to remember me by is a stack of unpaid bills from grateful but forgetful patients. Now, that isn't much, is it? To leave to someone whom you've promised to love, cherish, provide for.
Doctor, please get...
Mr. Cartwright, if you want my services, you're going to have to pay for them.
I never expected anything else. How much?
$10,000. Regardless of the outcome.
All right, now, please, can't we get started?
Money is to be paid to my wife. And Judge, you're a witness to this verbal contract. For with your dedication and respect for the law, I'm sure that you'll see that Mr. Cartwright carries out his part of the agreement.
35 years of my life have been given to that dedication and respect, and I've never abused the power entrusted to me. And what about you? What about the power entrusted to you? How many people have you butchered and maimed and killed and then hid your mistakes and incompetence behind the protection of your profession?
Judge, please.
You are a disgrace to that profession, Johns, and I'll tell you this. Of all the men I've ever sentenced to die, you're the only one I haven't the slightest regret or pity for.
Leave him be. There's little enough we can do for him.
Has something happened? Are they going to stop?
No. Nothing's changed.
Boss, I got the doctor coming.
The sedative that I gave the patient's worn off. He's awake. He's in pain.
I'm Dr. Johns.
Oh, back to the office.
Well, they tell me you went and got yourself roughed up a little bit.
Yeah. They tell you about the other feller?
No, only that he outweighed you by 1,000 pounds. I tell you tell me when it hurts, huh?
You found it.
Has he coughed up any blood?
Yeah, I started to this morning.
Well, I think I know all I need to.
What is it?
Fractured ribs. The jagged end of one has probably punctured the lung.
Meaning?
It means your son will drown in his own blood unless the damage is repaired.
Are you sure? I mean, the lung could be all right.
Yes, there's that possibility, yes. But I won't know unless I operate.
Do you have to operate?
It's a risk. A grave one.
Do you think he's strong enough for an operation?
I think so. He's got a good pulse. Of course, I'll check him over thoroughly first.
Doctor says you need an operation. It'll be a tough one. How do you feel about it?
If he says I need an operation, I reckon I need an operation, Paul. Got a notion he knows more about it than we do. Besides, I'm getting sort of tired laying here on my backside.
I want this room cleared. The only assistance I'll need is that of my wife.
I'll be out on the porch.
You can wait in the study.
Paul.
Yeah.
Don't you worry none, you hear? I'll be out and see you in a little while.
Yeah, sure. The one good thing about it, you big moose. The scar won't show. You'll still be as pretty as ever.
That's right, comforting news. I was really sort of worried about that.
right.
Thank you.
I wouldn't worry if I was you. He's a good doctor. He saved my life when nobody else gave me a chance.
Ready?
Karen, go upstairs, rest. I can manage here.
No, you can't. You need me. I'm all right.
Are you sure?
I'm perfectly sure. We better get started, Doctor. Michael, I know it's not the time or place to say this, but I love you so much. I love you.
There's never a time or a place where it's wrong to say, I love you. More ether.
Back on it again. After 4 long years. Used to be quite a drinker. But then 4 years ago, I come down with a fever. No doubt about it. I was due for Boot Hill. But then Dr. Johns heard about me. Came to my house. Didn't get 5 hours sleep all the time he was with me. Afterwards, he talked me into kicking the bottle. He gave me a job as his handyman.
Doesn't sound like a man who could commit a murder.
He ain't. I seen the whole thing. But the judge wouldn't listen. He said it was murder. You'll hang by the neck, he said. And the doc even refused to help himself.
Refused to help himself?
Well, it's just that the doc is a spirited man. Not one to get pushed. But at the trial, he just didn't seem to care.
What do you mean, didn't seem to care?
Well, he just sat there and let the judge condemn him.
Danny, tell me what happened the night Stevens was killed.
I can do that all right. I can't sleep for thinking about it. Whiskey's all that helps. I remember every minute of that night. I was on my way home the night of the killing. And like I said, I saw the whole thing. As I was passing the newspaper office, I could hear 2 men arguing inside. I couldn't tell what they were saying, but they sure was going at it hot and heavy. stopped and listened for a minute.
Doc, he's dead. He's dead, Henny.
Doc, what happened? What were you fighting about? Nothing. It must have been something. Oh, it was about a bill, Danny. It was about a bill he owed me. He wouldn't pay me.
I seen the whole thing. There's nothing to worry about, Doc.
Better tell the sheriff what happened.
What's going on here? I heard a shot.
Sheriff, we got a dead man.
It was an accident.
An accident? Like what happened to my leg? You left it bent and twisted?
I did everything I could for your leg. Yes, it's bent, but you're walking on it. You could have lost it.
It's Stevens' own gun.
It sure is. And I saw him pull it on Doc. It was self-defense, pure and simple.
Is that true, Doc?
Yes. Yes, we had a quarrel. And Stevens pulled his gun, and in the struggle for it, the gun went off.
Well, with Danny here as a witness, you shouldn't have too much trouble. Why don't you go home now? I'll need you in the morning, though, to sign a report.
All right, Sheriff. Come on, Danny, let's go.
Hold it. I wouldn't let the doc go home just like that, Sheriff. Not without seeing Judge Grant first.
Well, what's Judge Grant got to do with it?
Yeah, and it seems to me I'm still sheriff here. I say who goes home and who gets locked up.
And I'm a deputy sworn to uphold the law. I say this man might be guilty of murder.
Murder? It's a clear case.
I didn't say it was murder. I said it might be murder. Especially in view of what I know.
What do you mean, what you know?
I know he threatened to kill Stevens.
Sheriff, you say it was self-defense.
Yes, sir.
What proof have you got?
The doctor's an honest man.
Under the law, his evidence would be classified as self-serving.
Danny Culp was there. He saw the whole thing. You'll swear to it.
Mr. Culp is Dr. John's employee.
That don't mean I'd lie.
You have often said you credit the doctor with saving your life, hmm?
He did.
Yes, perhaps, but the fact that you think so categorizes you as something less than a subjective witness.
But I saw the whole...
Enough. Johns, you say you went to Stevens' office about a bill he owed you.
That's right.
You quarreled about it and you killed him.
Yes, we quarreled, but I didn't kill him.
There are witnesses who say you wanted to kill Stevens.
That's a lie.
Half here says it isn't a lie.
The other day I heard you and Stevens arguing outside the newspaper office. He said, "I'll kill you, Stevens. Remember that. I'll kill you."
Do you still deny this?
I didn't deny we were quarreling. I told you. It was about that bill you owed me.
Did you threaten to kill him?
I don't know. I was angry. I might have said anything.
Well, perhaps you will have sharpened up your memory by the time your trial begins.
Trial?
Exactly, Sheriff Wall. Trial for first-degree murder. Meanwhile, he's to be held in jail without bail.
I feel very sorry for you. For any man whose grief is such a sick thing. Please believe me, Judge. Your wife was doomed to die.
All right, Doctor.
Please believe me. Your wife was doomed to die. And the judge was just the same at the trial. The cards were stacked. The doc didn't have a chance.
The quarrel that started the fight. What was that about?
Everyone claimed it was about an unpaid bill.
Now, Danny. Does the doctor impress you as the kind of man who'd resort to violence to collect a bill?
Oh, no. Matter of fact, half the people in town owed the doc. Then he didn't seem to mind before.
Must have been something else they quarreled about then.
But the doc kept saying it was the bill. He said it to me right after Stevens died.
So you said. What was that again about a piece of paper?
Paper? Oh, he dumped a whole tray of type. He seemed in a sort of a daze, but he kept looking for something. Then he found that piece of paper. He tore it up and threw it in the stove.
Well, anyway, it was a kind of a strange thing under the circumstances. Man killed, and Doc stops and tears up a piece of paper, throws it into the stove. How is he?
Well, the lung was punctured. There was internal bleeding, and I repaired that damage and set the broken ribs.
It's going to be all right.
Well, I'll be better able to tell you. I mean, my wife should be able to predict his chances for you later on. I've done all I can. The rest is up to your son's constitution.
Doc. Thank you.
I hope you're not being premature. Mr. Cartwright, I wouldn't try to see your boy for a while. He's had a pretty rough time. The sheriff's impatient. Danny?
Pay your last respects or complain about the doctor's bill?
I talked to him.
Oh, yes. He's allowed visitors an hour before the time. Paul. Oh, just a minute. Your gun.
Doctor?
Not in here, Mr. Cartwright. Don't call me doctor in here. How's your son?
My son had a very good doctor. But I didn't come here to talk about my son. Sheriff, may we talk privately?
Hoff, will you get back outside?
Why are you sacrificing your life?
Not sacrificing, Mr. Cartwright. That's the wrong word. The law is taking my life for murder.
Sacrificing is the right word. What does Cold Town, Pennsylvania mean to you?
Well, it's the place where I grew up, as did my wife.
And what else happened there?
Nothing. We left there, came out here to open a practice.
Then why did Stevens, after all these years, want to print a story about Coal Town and your wife?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I think you do. I talked to Cope.
I tried to save your son's life, Mr. Cartwright. I hope I succeeded. If you have any gratefulness, then forget about this.
I can't. That same gratefulness won't let me.
But it's none of your business.
I have to go to Judge Grant and show him this new evidence on your behalf.
No! Sit down. I'm going to tell you about it. And after I'm through, you're going to agree that I am doing the right thing. You're going to know that I'm making the right decision.
I'm listening.
In order to go to school and become a doctor, my wife Karen worked in one of the coal companies as a bookkeeper and a cashier to support us. And in my last year of school, she became ill, lung trouble. And all the money went for medical bills, and it became impossible for me to continue my studies. So, she embezzled money from the company where she worked.
You knew about this?
No, not at first. She told me she made a loan from the company. They started to audit the books, and she told me.
So you ran away, came here.
Then we started to save the money to repay the loan, and Stevens came out to start a paper.
He knew about your wife?
See, he was a reporter out of Philadelphia when the theft was discovered, and he covered the story.
Well, a possible jail sentence for Mrs. Johns. Surely that isn't worth your life.
Have you ever been to Coal Town, Pennsylvania? Have you ever seen the coal dust hang so thick that it blots out the sun and breathe in that black death day after day? It kills people, Mr. Cartwright. And it would have killed her if we'd have stayed there, and it will kill her if she goes back.
What about Karen? Don't you think she has a right to know what's happening and why?
No. She'd do what you want. Go to Grant. Tell him. She's a beautiful woman, Mr. Cartwright. And out here, she'd have years of life ahead of her. But if you go to Grant, hand him that paper, you're sending Karen to her death.
Sheriff?
You're all finished?
All finished. How is he?
We're still waiting. Did you see Michael?
Yes, I thanked him for what he did. Mrs. Johns, are you going to see him now?
No. It would make it more difficult for him. I'm going upstairs. If you need me for anything, please call.
I will. Thank
Thank you for everything.
I love you.
I just dropped by to see how your boy was getting on. Will he recover?
We don't know.
I'm sorry for you, Mr. Cartwright. Well, this will never happen again. I'm on my way to see to that.
You're going to see the execution.
Yes, it's my duty to be there.
And if it weren't your duty, you'd still be there, wouldn't you?
Yes, I would. Again, my sympathy.
Vengeance hanging.
What did you say?
I said you're going to a vengeance hanging. Your vengeance.
Because of the strain you're under, I'll excuse that remark.
No, don't. I meant it. What was your real reason for coming here, Judge?
I told you, Mr. Cartwright, my concern for your son.
No. Justification. To justify what you're about to do out there. Because if my son dies, that would justify everything for you. That would prove that you were right. And you're not. And you know it.
John's murdered a man. He admitted it.
No. He admitted to fighting a man, not murdering him.
There's no proof of that. What is this?
A newspaper article. A story that Stevens was using to blackmail Dr. Johns.
Blackmail?
Yes, blackmail. When Johns tried to destroy it, Stevens pulled a gun.
I don't believe it.
Read that article. What you won't find in that story is that Karen Jones is ill. If she was sent back east, it might mean a death.
How do you know all this?
I learned it from Dr. Johns. He begged me not to say a word of this to you, for fear that you'd take out your vengeance on her, too.
Then why do you tell me?
Earlier today, you said that you never abused the power entrusted to you. Well, I think you're doing it now. You're sending a man to death because of what you think he did to you, to your wife. Not because you really believe him to be guilty.
You're a liar.
Then prove me to be a liar. 35 years of your life have been dedicated to seeing that men receive equal and fair justice under the law. Prove me to be a liar. Or better still, prove to me that you're a judge. Not just a man using his power to seek revenge.
Paul.
You all right, son?
Yeah. A little fuzzy. But a dang sight better than I did. A couple of days rest and I'll be ready to go out there and take on that old flea bag that set on me and give him a good whooping.
You didn't know if your son would live or not. Johns might have caused his death. Yet you defended him.
My son had died. I'd still know that the doctor had done all he could for him. Just as you know that he did all he could for your wife. He's only a human being, Judge. Nothing more. He can't play God. No one can.
Paul. What's all that about?
I'll tell you later, son.
Everything's ready, sir.
Just waiting on a word from you, Judge.
Bring him down from there.
Oh, just a minute, Judge. This man suffered enough already. I say if we're going to hang him, do it now. Don't drag it out.
We're not going to hang him. He's innocent.
There now. Easy, easy.
Dr. Johns, now that I understand, I think I can use my office to see that you, both of you, need suffer no further anguish.
Thank you. Well, now, I think we ought to be getting back to our patient, don't you?
Mr. Cartwright. Thank you.
Finally decided to come home.
I'm sorry I'm late, Paul.
How long does it take a body to drive to Virginia City and back?
Paul, I hurried, I promise.
Just 1 minute. Now, what are you so awful busy about?
Ain't busy, Paul.
Well, did you bring the mail?
Yes, sir. It's out there in the buckboard.
Did that letter arrive from Carson City?
Gee, I reckon, Paul. I didn't even look.
What's that?
It's just a little something I had up in the room. If you don't mind, Paul, I gotta be going.
Wait a minute. You just got home.
I gotta go see somebody, Paul.
Hoss, may I remind you we're short-handed? Your brothers are away.
I'll be back. I'll be right back.
I'll be back. I'll be right back. Is it all right if a father knows where his son is headed, or is that too much to ask?
No, sir. First of all, I'm going over to the Tyree place. Paul, he's a friend of mine.
Yes,
He ain't always been like he is, Paul. I remember one time you said, I'm proud to have a man like Wade Tyree for a neighbor.
Yes, that's true. And we all try to help him, and he's in love with a whiskey bottle.
That little gal from back east hadn't jilted him and married that other feller.
Oh, Hoss. Is that an excuse for a grown man? Doesn't that prove he's a weakling?
Paul, Wade Tyree ain't a weakling. He was crazy about that little gal. He'll get back on the right road.
Oh, and you're the good Samaritan who's going to help him out of the ditch.
Paul, I remember one time, you and me worked a half a day with a block and tackle pulling a Maverick steer out of a ditch. I figure Wade Tyree's at least as good as a Maverick steer. Here. Wade. 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 You all right? You're acting mighty leisurely for a man that's got so much to do. How come you ain't out working?
I'm a drunk, Hoss. Drunks don't have to work. It's empty and I'm still sober.
Wade, I've been trying to tell you for months that boozing just ain't gonna get it.
Oh. But you're wrong, Hoss. It keeps everything nice and hazy, and that's just the way I like it.
Oh, come on. Probably find you another gal one of these days. Fall in love. Might even marry her.
Yeah, I'll never make the same mistake again.
Well, I can't hang around here all day. I just thought I'd drop by and see if you needed anything from town.
What would I need in town? Guess maybe you can find me a greenhorn and I could sell this place to for a few dollars.
Stage just came in. You want to go in and check it?
Nah, I'm not likely to find that greenhorn. He won't buy me any booze, and everybody else knows I'm broke.
I might buy you a drink.
What?
Yeah. Sure. I ain't gonna go in there with you looking like that. You need a shave. Go on.
Oh. Yeah, all right, I guess I could shave for a drink.
Let's go over here to the hotel a minute. I got some business.
I thought you said we was gonna have a drink.
Well, a minute. First, I got some business. Come on over and help me with it.
Well, let's have a drink first.
We'll get it in a minute. Now, come on.
Who's that?
It's a little gal I met on the stagecoach this morning. Now, come on over and say hello to her.
Oh, I want to get
Come on, come on. Hi, Bonnie.
Oh, you're back, Mr. Hoss.
Yeah, I told you I would be, and I brought a good friend of mine. This here is Wade Tyree. Say hello, Wade.
Hello.
Oh, here comes Mama.
Hey, what's this all about, Hoss?
Well, nothing to get excited about. It's just a lady and a little girl I met on the stagecoach this morning. Will Jeffries was supposed to pick them up here.
Jeffries? What kind of a woman would want to meet that polecat?
I don't know. She came all the way from Illinois now.
Mr. Cartwright, I'm so glad to see you again.
Hi, ma'am. I hope I wasn't too long.
No, I've been resting in my room. The trip was more tiring than I'd realized.
Didn't seem to get little Bonnie down too much.
Mr. Hoss, is that a real Indian?
He sure is. Come on over here and sit down. Oh, excuse me, Miss Hinton. This is a good friend of mine, an old and dear friend, Wade Tyree. Wade, Miss Hinton.
How do you do, Mr. Tyree?
Hello, ma'am.
Mr. Cartwright, didn't you find Mr. Jeffries?
Well, ma'am, Wade and me were just talking about
Were you a
Jeffries.
friend of Will's, Mr. Tyree?
Me? No, ma'am. You a relative of his?
To tell the truth, I came out from Illinois to marry him. Mr. Tyree, do you...
Mr. Jeffries ain't in town, ma'am.
Well, then, where is he?
He left town last week. He married a widow with money and moved to California.
Mommy, how are we going to marry him if he moved to California?
Hush, 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 Bonnie.
Mr. Jeffries ain't a man to be trusted, ma'am. Never was.
But he wrote to me. I have his letters. Well, you see, I met him back in Illinois last year. We've been corresponding ever since. Well, I sold everything we had, sent him the money to buy us a little farm. What are we going to do?
I don't know. There's a stage leaving for back east tomorrow.
I can't go back. Even if I have the money, I can't, or I won't.
Well, under the circumstances,
Mr. Tyree, I came from a small Midwestern town. Everybody knows everything about everybody else. Now, I won't go back there and be snickered at or clucked over.
Yeah, I certainly understand, ma'am. I sure am sorry. Well, look, there's something I got to take care of. I'll see you later. Excuse me, please.
Bonnie, you take real good care of your mommy. I'll be back in a minute now. Hardly any time to be boozing, Wade.
Get away from me, you. Look, I know what you're trying to do, and forget it. Besides that, you promised me this drink.
Yep, sure I did. If you wanted it.
Well, I want it.
No, you don't. Not when there's folks in trouble.
They ain't my folks. Hit me again, Sam.
Wade, don't do it.
Hit me again, Sam.
Wade.
Now, look, climb out of my hair, hoss, and let me get drunk all by myself.
You can't afford it, Wade. Think about that poor little gal in there.
Hoss, will you go away? I ain't no nursemaid.
No, you ain't. You're a man, Wade. And you can't force a man to do something he don't want to do.
Well, that's for sure.
But there's something else for sure. Those folks have got to have a roof over their head. I'm going to take them out to Ponderosa. The least you could do is give me a little bit of help.
Well, all right. Promise me you'll drop me by my place first.
Here it is, Wade's place. Ain't it nice?
Oh, it's nice, Mommy. It's nice.
Yes, it is, dear.
Just like I told you, ma'am. A lot of nice families and big ranches have come from homesteads just like this one, right, Wade?
Well, plenty of them failed, too.
Oh, not if they had the right folks working them.
Hadn't you ought to get started? It's getting kind of late.
Probably have one of the biggest, nicest places in this whole part of the country. I don't know whether it's what you had pictured in Illinois or not, but...
Mr. Cartwright, I do hope you don't think I'm the sort of person who would just...
Oh, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. I just thought that you might be a little disappointed or something.
It's getting kind of late.
Yeah, I reckon we had, Wade. We'll see you tonight at dinner. Wade's coming over to Ponderosa for dinner tonight.
I got things to do, Hoss.
Why, Wade, you mean you don't want to have dinner with Miss Abigail here and Bonnie?
Oh, no, I didn't mean that.
Good. See you at 8 o'clock, Wade. Get up.
Bye, Mr. Tyree.
Miss Hinton, this is my Paul Ben Cartwright.
Welcome, Mrs. Hinton. My son and I are very happy to have you both here.
Well, I do hope this isn't an imposition, Mr. Cartwright. Your son assured us it would...
Hoss was perfectly right. Now, I know you've had a long journey. You must be exhausted. Would you like to rest before dinner?
Well, yes, I am rather weary. I'm afraid we both are.
Why don't I show you up to your room?
Hoss, why don't you let Hobson do that?
All right.
This way, Mrs.
Fine. Thank you.
What do you think of him, Paul?
Hoss, ever since I can remember, you've been bringing home strays. Now, if it wasn't a motherless calf, it was a stray dog, a stray cat, or a bird with a broken wing. Hoss, somebody's got to look
now, they got one of the nicest places in the whole country. 5 great big old healthy strong sons and a big herd of cattle are doing fine.
I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Oh, Bonnie? Why don't you and I go out in the kitchen and see if Hop Sing has any more of that scrumptious ice cream?
All right, Mr. Cartwright.
Wade, not a word, not one single word. Just leave bad enough alone.
All right. There's a door over there, Wade. Why don't you go on out of it? Go as far as you like. Go all the way back to New Hampshire if you want to. But let me tell you something, mister. Everybody needs somebody. You can't blame me for remembering that with your bare hands you cleared 160 acres. Built that house, the barn, the corral.
That's all in the past.
Means nothing. Then why didn't you clear out? Why didn't you go on back to New Hampshire when that little gal jilted you? What are you doing still sticking around here?
Whiskey don't do its best unless you got a home to drink it in.
If that's what you want to do, if that's all you want to make out of your life, you go right ahead and do it. But you first of all go out there and tell that little gal that I made a real big bad mistake. You tell her that you ain't no good for her. You go tell her that.
Well, it sure is a pretty night, isn't it?
Yes, it is. The stars seem so close out here.
I want to apologize for the way Hoss has been talking me up.
I'm sure he means well.
Yeah, Hoss is a good friend. Well, he hasn't told you everything. Well, the truth is, before you get any wrong impressions, well, for the past 3 months, I've been nothing but a common drunk.
Mr. Tyree, you don't have to tell me all this.
Yes, I do. Yeah. Well, the point is that I'm no prize. And, well, you've seen my homestead. It's no mansion. It sure gets lonely.
People can get lonely anywhere.
I suppose Hoss told you about that girl I had back east I had my heart set on. Supposed to join me out here. Well, I was wrong.
Sort of makes us two of a kind, doesn't it?
That's what I was thinking.
Mr. Tyree. Exactly what are you trying to say to me?
Well, I've been thinking that maybe you and your little girl and me.
You mean marriage? But I don't love you, Mr. Tyree. Right now, there's no love in my heart for anybody.
Me neither. But you can't go back. You've never seen the inside of my cabin. It's fixed up real pretty for a bride.
I don't know what to say. That mail-order bride Hoss was talking about at the dinner table is that true?
Yeah, it sure is. Out here in this country, we don't have time for courtship and such. I've seen a lot of those mail-order weddings that have worked out pretty good.
You know so many tricks, Mr. Hoss.
Yes, sir. And I learned every one of them from Hop Sing.
Only Hop Sing do them all right way, not wrong way.
Let me show you another. Here, you take the handkerchief and you fold it over like a diaper.
Cartwright.
Yes, Wade.
Well, Abigail and me got something we'd like to tell you and Hoss.
Yes, we're going to be married.
That's great, Wade. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Son of a gun.
Wishes to you. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Tari, are you gonna be my daddy?
It sure looks that way, Bonnie.
Hey, Wade. Got something here for you.
Well, I'll be doggone. Where'd you get this? I threw it away 3 months ago.
I figured the time would come when you'd be needed again, so I've been hanging on to it for you. Having troubles?
Oh, Hoss, I'm so glad to see you.
How are you, Miss Abigail?
Oh, I don't know. It seems to take me forever.
Well, we'll soon remedy that. Stand right over there. Where's that husband of yours?
Well, he went into town to cash the bank draft for our cattle.
Yeah, he sold them, huh?
The ones that got through the winter. Better than market prices, too.
You sell him that Denver buyer he's telling me about?
I don't know, Hoss. I'm afraid I'll never learn to chop wood.
What's the matter, ma'am? You worried about making the change from a city gal to a farm wife?
Oh, you're right. I am worried. Oh, Hoss, it's a hard country, and it's pretty lonely.
Yeah, it is for everybody at first, though, Abigail.
If a couple's newly together, it's even more so. At first, you've got the discovery of each other. After a time, you begin to look for a sign, something, a yardstick to measure your partnership by. For us, Wade and me, there's not much to show. We lost a lot of cattle, and I don't know, the whole thing's a mess.
Now, listen here. Don't you start blaming yourself for hard winter. I mean, Wade ain't made no complaints about you, has he?
Oh, no. Oh, no, Hoss. Wade's a good man. He's provided for Bonnie and me. It's just that it's taken a lot out of him. I can see that.
You know what I think?
What?
I think you're just making worries for yourself.
Maybe. But I can't forget something, Hoss. Marrying me, for Wade, that was like a shotgun wedding, and no man likes that feeling, does he?
I reckon not. You said he got better market price for his cattle now. Everything can't be all bad then, can it?
Maybe you're right. Hoss, how would you like to have dinner with us and help us celebrate, huh?
I'd be right proud to, Miss Tyree, if you'll let me earn it.
Gladly.
Hey, Wade. We've been waiting for you.
Hoss is going to have dinner with us. Help us celebrate.
Where's my bottle?
I put it away.
Then get it, I want it.
All right.
Abigail said she thought you'd come home a rich man.
Oh, shut up, Hoss. Here, give me that. Well, I reckon I'm entitled to that. It's my whole winter's pay, a bottle of rot gut. That Denver buyer gave it to me to seal the bargain.
Something's wrong, Wade. What is it?
I gave away my cattle. That's what's wrong. I pulled them through the worst winter we've ever had. Through blizzards and fighting wolves, and I gave them away.
That Denver cattle buyer swindled you, huh?
Well, there ain't enough money in the bank to cover that draft.
Oh, Wade. Well, can you get the cattle back?
I told you they're gone. No, we can't get them back.
Wait a minute. That's nonsense. All we got to do is get a judge and get some papers.
Well, where do you think I've been all this time? That Denver buyer sold the cattle to somebody else and then skipped town. The judge says all I can do is sue him. But you know how long and how much money that'll take.
Oh, Wade.
Wait a minute.
Wade. Well, Hoss, it's...
Miss Abigail, it ain't all that bad. Wait a minute. Wait, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll stake you again, and I'll get Paul to give you some stock.
I don't want your stock. You've done enough. In fact, this whole miserable thing is your fault.
My fault?
Yeah. If you'd have left me alone that day and let me gone out and got dead drunk and flat broke, I might have hired out for $30 a month and found. No more homesteading. No more worries. Instead, thanks to you, I got a woman and a child that don't even want and can't even feed.
That's about enough, Wade. He didn't mean that, Miss Abigail. I promise you he didn't mean it. Sometimes when a feller gets cheated or chiseled, he just didn't mean it, that's all. Wade.
Oh, I don't want to listen, Hoss. 6 months ago, you told me if I didn't give up drinking, I'd wind up with nothing. Well, I did quit drinking, and I still got nothing. Except a family I can't support.
And that's exactly why you ain't gonna give up. You know it.
Nothing I do turns out right.
Look, Wade, ranching ain't the only way to make a living off of the land. If you planted a crop right now, you'd have it ready for harvest by fall.
What kind of crop?
Vegetables.
Vegetables? What kind of vegetables?
Any kind of vegetables. Sweet corn, potatoes, tomatoes, lettuce, cabbage, anything that you could sell to the restaurants in town. Look, Wade, I'll buy the seed for you, and I'll help you plant it. Wade, you can't give up now.
Guess I do owe Bonnie and Abigail something. All right, Hoss, I'll take you up. Nothing else I can do.
Hi, Paul. Need some help?
Where have you been?
I've been back over to Tyree's place.
Again?
Put your weight on that.
Set it down. Hoss? How long is this going to go on? First you give them the seed, and then you plant the crop. How long is this going to go on?
Paul, you yourself told me that a neighbor was supposed to help a neighbor.
That's right. What are you going to do? You're going to harvest the crop for him, too, and then sell the crop for him?
Already have, Paul. I talked to Silver Dollar Restaurant in town to contract in all of his fresh produce. And, Paul, I promised him I'd help him harvest it. I can't just let him down.
There's going to be any harvest.
Oh, he's got a good crop, Paul.
Hoss, we haven't had a drop of rain hereabouts in over a month. Doesn't look as if we're going to have any. I've seen dry spells before. They can be pretty disastrous.
Yeah. It'll rain. It's gotta.
brought you some water.
Here, take some. You?
No. Oh, it's so hot, dry.
It's the worst summer I've ever seen.
Isn't there a chance of rain?
Look at that sky. There's not a rain cloud up there. Just that sun beating down day after day. I don't think it'll ever rain again.
Hoss Cartwright says...
I don't care what Hoss says. Crops die without water. Well, there's nothing else I can do here. Let's go back to the house.
Some water. I got tired of waiting for it to rain, decided we'd do a little irrigating.
Well, too late, Hoss. It won't work.
I ain't got time to argue with you, Wade. Will you tell him, Abigail?
Wade, we can't let the crops die. Come on, Wade.
Give me a hand, sweetie. Here we go. Up today. We'll be out in the cornfield if you change your mind, Wade. Get up. Get up. Get up. Get up. Miss Abigail, why don't you slow down a little bit? You're pushing yourself way too hard.
I can't, Hoss.
That's the end of it. I reckon I'll have to ride back to Ponderosa and get some more. And then what?
You know as well as I do, Hoss, it'll take a rain to save this crop. Now, you listen to me.
Mama, please. Mama.
I'll take her to the wagon.
No, don't touch her. Starlight, don't touch her. You don't want us, you hate us. You hate us and I hate you.
Come on, honey. Take Miss Abigail back to the house. I'll go get the doctor.
The doctor's in there looking at her now. He told me to wait out here.
How's Bonnie?
She's asleep now. I covered her up.
Look, Wade. You're dead on your feet. Won't you get some rest? You're gonna need it for tomorrow's work. I'll get the water over here first thing in the morning.
What for? I don't care anything about that crop now.
Don't you talk like that. Dadgummit, you got me. You got anything I got. Money in my two hands. You know you can depend on me.
Oh, I've been a rotten husband, Hoss. And a worse father. I gave everything I had to this place. And gave them nothing. And that Bonnie, she hates me. That child just hates me.
That ain't so. She didn't mean what she said. She was just wrought up. Little young'un was dog-tired.
Well, Doc?
Your wife needs rest, Tyree, but she's in no danger.
Well, what seems to be ailing her? Working out in the sun too long?
That didn't help any. Anyway, you can go see her now.
Thanks, Doc.
Look, Doc, is there anything I can do?
Well, I doubt if Mrs. Tyree will get the rest she needs here. Not with that little girl to take care of.
Yeah, I could take them out to Ponderosa. At least you wouldn't have to do any housework or cooking out there.
It's certainly advisable, Hoss. I'll see you.
Right.
Gave us quite a scare.
I'm sorry.
He's got all worn out.
Poor baby.
You know, Abigail, this is no place for a young kid. Truth is, I've been thinking.
Wade.
Huh?
I'm going to have a child. Wade?
Company all bedded down for the night?
Yeah. Little one's sound asleep. She's all tuckered out.
What about Abigail?
Sitting up feeling better. Wants to talk to Wade. You know where he is?
By the barn. What about his crop?
Oh, I think we could probably save enough of it that he could scrape by, maybe.
Well, you know, we'd all be happy to pitch in. But, it's his decision.
Yeah, I know. But it seems like that.
Remember what I said?
Hoss.
Wade, Abigail wants to talk to you.
Oh, good. Now, look, I want you to come along with me and hear what I got to tell her.
What are you going to tell her?
Never mind. Just come on along, will you? Are you feeling any better? Abigail, I got something I want to tell you.
I've got something I want to tell you.
Well, let me finish. I want to tell you this while I get it all straight in my mind. I want Hoss to hear it, too. Abigail, well, you married the wrong man. It's simple as that. Like I was telling Hoss, I've been a poor husband and a worse father. And I don't blame Bonnie at all for hating me.
Oh, now, come on, Wade. You know she didn't mean that. That little gal doesn't hate you.
Oh, she hates me. She hates me. I'll never win her trust again.
Sure you will. You never lost it. Did he, Abigail?
What else have you got to tell me, Wade?
Well, I know when I'm licked. Call it quits.
But Wade, what about your wife and little Bonnie?
I'm going to send them back to Illinois.
Well, if that ain't the dangest fool thing I ever heard of in my life.
I've got my mind made up. But I'll still need your help, Hoss.
What kind of help?
I need to loan us some money to get them back there and keep them going until I can pay for their support.
You figure that's the right thing to do? I mean, with a new little one coming on and all, right?
Do I get the money or don't I?
If that's the way you want it.
Well, it's the only way. They can go as soon as Abigail feels like she's strong enough to travel.
Well, I'll have no part of it. I'm going to wake up Bonnie and we're going home.
Home? What do you mean? The house?
What other home do we have?
Oh, Abigail, there's nothing there. Crops are dying. There's no cattle. There's nothing.
Oh, Wade, all your hopes and dreams, they're there. Well, that homestead's as much mine now as it is yours. If you choose to leave, then go. But I'm not quitting. I'm staying. I'll get Bonnie.
That's a way to talk, Abigail, and I'll be out there to help you all I can, too.
Oh, no, you won't, Hoss Cartwright. I don't want another favor from you ever. Do you understand?
Abigail, what are you talking about?
I think you know what I'm talking about. You've cut my husband down to nothing with your interference, forcing your help on him.
Forcing it?
Yes, I said forcing it. Well, just remember this, Hoss Cartwright. You're not going to do that to Wade Tyree's wife and children. We're going to make that homestead work. Why, Wade built that house with his own two hands. He cleared and plowed our land without your help, and I guess we can do it, too.
Abigail,
Wait a minute. You let my wife talk.
Yes. He's no doormat for anybody. He can stand on his own 2 feet. He doesn't need you or anybody else to prop him up.
You're doggone right. All I need is my wife and family.
And another thing, Hoss Cartwright, you... What did you say?
I said all I need is my wife and family.
Oh, Wade, Bonnie loves you. All she needs is for you to let her know that you love her. Go upstairs and wake her up and we'll go home.
All right. What's the matter, son?
People. I just don't understand them. Confusing.
Strange thing about people. They wouldn't be much fun any other way. Rain's coming.
Hoss, it's going to rain.
I have nothing to do with it. I ain't responsible for this.
That'll be all, Judge. You may step down.
You have heard the evidence, gentlemen of the jury. You will weigh that evidence in privacy and render your verdict. A sober and unenviable task, but you must face it with responsibility.
You bet, Judge. Send those good men into their little hate closet, that's right. Send them in there so they don't have to look at me when they tie that rope around my neck. Weigh the evidence, huh? Seems to me around here lies weigh up heavier than facts. And you gaping bunch of sheep. Like a medicine show, ain't it? That's right. Step right up and get your tickets. See a man do a rope dance. See him kick, see him squirm.
Man, stop it!
And don't forget your box lunches.
You're not doing yourself any good.
Ooh, it's mighty hot, gents. Mighty hot. Well, I guess it's best to get this over and done with. I got chores waiting at home.
We all got things to do.
Right. Well, let's get to voting. I think all of us see this the same way, don't we? Murdoch?
What else? Guilty, of course.
Murdoch said it. What else? He's guilty. Yeah, guilty. I had a field of wheat once and had to plow it under. Bad seed, bad crop. Sometimes people are the same. You know, Wren's paw was no good, town drunkard. His kids following in his footsteps. I vote to hang him.
Guilty.
Good, good. Barton?
He done it all right. Guilty.
And now, with it? Oh, you look disturbed. Don't tell me.
Yes, Mr. Breeze, I am disturbed. Disturbed by this talk of getting out of here because it's hot or because there are chores waiting. Like all the rest of you, I feel that Jamie Wren is guilty, and I'll vote that way. But I want it known that it's because of the logic of what I heard in the courtroom, not because I'm all fired anxious to get this over with.
Oh, of course, Williams. The point is, we all think he's guilty. What's the use of dilly-dallying around? Oh, one more vote and we'll have this behind us. Just give us your guilty. We've had enough oratory.
I ain't much on oratory, Mr. Breeze. Just remembering what the judge told us. He called it reasonable doubt. I reckon that's what I got.
Are you going to tell me, Hoss, that you doubt Jamie Wren's guilt?
Yes, sir. I guess that's exactly what I mean. I gotta vote not guilty.
Some more, hey, Junior. Pal you turned out to be.
I know I wasn't in court, Jamie, but I was right out here all day waiting. How did it go? Are you going to be... I mean, did they...
Set me up for hanging? No, not yet, but they'll get around to it for sure. Seems there's a squeamish chap on the jury, and hanging don't set too well with him.
The one friend you got in this world, and you can't say a good word for him.
Junior's the only friend I got. That guy in the jury ain't any friend of mine. And the reason he's holding out for so long is for the buck a day he gets for sitting on his duff.
Let's get you back to your cell. You can talk to him later, Junior.
Yeah. That's right, you can.
don't you come by later, Junior? We'll have us a regular old tea party, huh? How about that? Let's go.
How'd it go, son?
Not so good, Paul.
Hoss Cartwright, have you taken leave of your senses, wanting to turn a killer loose in the streets?
If I thought Jamie Wren was guilty, I'd have voted that way.
Seems to me somebody's been talking out of turn. What goes on in the jury room is not subject for gossip.
You can't keep such disgraceful goings-on a secret in this town. Hoss Cartwright, I've known you a long time, but I must say you're a real disappointment to me. Come, Henry.
You know, Hush, she's right. Everybody in town feels the same way. Maybe that'll make you change your mind.
Mr. Murdoch, it's how I feel that matters to me.
Now, let me put it this way. I don't intend to stay cooped up in that jury room sweatbox because of your muley attitude.
Guess we'll be heading home, son.
Hoss Cartwright. I hear tell you holding out, Hoss. Holding that Jamie Wren ought to be let off.
That's true, Mr. Olson. But we ain't supposed to be talking about it out here. The judge said it was supposed
Don't figure how you can really feel that way, Hoss. Jamie Wren did what I said he did in court, and that's plain fact.
Well, sir, I tell you, Mr. Olson, I did what I thought was right, and that's plain fact.
I'll hold you no grudge for that, Hoss. A man can only vote what he thinks is right. But
Paul, you've remained silent through this whole thing. Come on home.
Here's your dinner, son.
You mean swill, don't you, badge man? Let's pocket a mean profit from the money they give you to feed us prisoners. Huh?
Look, Graham, most jails, you want your grub, they make you cook it. Now, this is restaurant food. Same identical as they serve their customers.
Oh, I do believe you. I do, for a fact. Difference is you probably scraped it off the plates they sold yesterday.
The law says I got to feed you. You don't have to eat it.
Well, I'll try and choke some down, badge man. Otherwise, I might just pine away and die of starvation, and you'd be cheated out of your hanging fee. That'd be plumb terrible, wouldn't it? You being cheated out of your hanging fee.
What I don't like about it is all the rules are always setting down for me.
What rules?
Oh, well, Breeze and the rest of them are they're always telling me that the law says an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. How come they don't say nothing about turning the other cheek or loving thy neighbor?
What are you getting at, Hoss?
Well, Paul, Dad burn it, poor little Jamie Wren would have a better chance if he's a total stranger. Dad burn it, I just can't see him killing a man in cold blood, that's all.
Hoss, you gotta be careful about something. You gotta be careful not to let your heart rule your head. A man who sits on a jury, he's gotta be logical. He's gotta look at the evidence, got to weigh the evidence.
Paul, that's exactly what I'm doing. The only evidence I have heard, the only evidence, is Olson's word that Jamie Wren killed his brother.
You saying that Olson lied?
No, I ain't saying that. But what I am saying is that it was dark that night, Paul. It was real dark. It would have been real easy for Olson to have made a mistake. Too easy to hang a man on the strength of it. Answer me this. Am I wrong in what I'm doing?
Man is never wrong doing what he thinks is right. You better get saddled up. You're gonna be late for jury duty.
Just some grass, LeBear.
Oh, Hoss. You know you're going to take a real beating from those other jurors today. No chance you changing your mind, I suppose.
Mr. Williams, can't understand. Everybody expects me to change my mind. Has it ever occurred to any of them that they might change theirs?
I'm telling you, Judge, dismiss this jury and start over again. That muley Cartwright's the only man in town thinks...
Mr. Murdoch, get one thing straight. No one tells me how to run my court. You'll go into that jury room and you'll return with a unanimous verdict, whether it takes today, tomorrow, or the rest of the month. Do I make myself clear?
Well, now, let me make myself clear, Judge. I got a ranch to run. I can't waste all this time.
You call it a waste of time deciding whether a young man should die?
No, I don't mean that, Judge. What I mean is the rest of us jurors has decided like we were supposed to. That fool Cartwright's holding us up.
Everybody's here now. Let's get going.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, Mr. Priest. It's come to my attention that certain jury members have been discussing the deliberations of the jury with outsiders. That is something I will not tolerate.
Yes, sir. Well, now, Hoss, how about it? Changed your mind yet? Oh, surely you want to get this thing over with.
Mr. Olson, us jurors ain't allowed to talk. Seems like some of us don't want to talk. But you can, Mr. Olson. You can. Now, come on, Mr. Olson. Tell us again, just like you did in court, how Jamie Wren killed your brother.
I don't see how it could do any good, Mr. Murdoch.
But I wasn't there, Mr. Olson. I didn't hear it. Go ahead and tell us.
Well, there ain't not much to tell. It's just that My brother and I woke up that night in our cabin, and we saw Jamie Wren stealing our money box from the fireplace where we hid it. We jumped him, but he had a gun. He shot my brother and run off with the money box. Every cent we had in the world.
Yes, sir, that's just how he told in court, under oath. But it appears some of us weren't listening real good.
Mr. Murdoch, Jamie Wren has already had a fair trial. We're not going to hold a kangaroo court in here.
You got a guilty conscience or something, House? I ain't holding no court. Just refreshing my memory on what happened.
Cal.
This bill. It's got my mark on it. It's part of the money Jamie Wren stole the night he killed my brother.
Mr. Olson, you say all your money was marked like this?
Yes, the Sheriff, it was.
And Jamie Wren stole every cent of it, right? That just about decides it, don't it, Judge? You got no choice but to call a mistrial.
There's no need to declare a mistrial. The jury will reconvene in the morning. I'll hear no more talk on the subject.
Hoss, you're just gonna have to figure out where you might have picked up that money.
Dad, burn it, Roy. I've been trying. Backtrack myself. I paid a bill over at the delivery stable, and I bought some stuff from Jake and a couple other things. I don't know. I must have got it back in change or something. I don't know.
You had another thought, Mr. Olson?
Well, it was real late that night when I saw Wren rob us and shoot my brother. I run over to the sheriff and got him out of bed, and he grabbed Wren before morning.
But then Jamie couldn't have spent any of that money. It had to be a bribe.
Murdoch, that ain't so, and you know it.
Listen, House. You vote guilty like the rest of us. Then maybe nobody can say you took a bribe.
I better not hear anybody say that nohow.
Hoss, it's been a long day. Come on, let's get out of here. Good night, boys.
Well, go on in.
Hey, yes, sir.
Don't take too long now, you hear?
No, sir. They've been doing a powerful lot of squabbling down in that jury room, Jamie. I've been listening to him from out in the alley.
It's just an act, pal.
No, it ain't, Jamie. No, it ain't. That big fella, Hoss Cartwright, he's been taking a heap of abuse and nip from them other jurors.
You can stand it. The $1 a day he's getting, he'll give in when he's made his money and had his fun.
If he does, they'll...
That's right, Junior. They'll string me up, and they'll waste no time about it either. Look, quit trying to save my feelings, will you? Because I ain't afraid of him. They get no satisfaction out of me. No crawling, no whining, no nothing.
And for something you never done. It just ain't fair, Jamie. It just ain't fair.
There ain't nothing fair in this world. You're either born lucky or you're born to spit on.
The way I look at it, Jamie, you only got one chance. You gotta get out of here.
Why didn't I think of that, Junior? You know, I think I'll just call that deputy over here and ask him to unlock this cell.
Please, Jamie, you've been the onlyest friend I ever had. I'm gonna get you out of here.
Why, brother? I'll go... What are you gonna do? Shape up an Indian totem and get rid of the evil spirit?
No, Jamie, no. I'm not gonna make an Indian totem. I figured if I could get the key...
I'll get him over here. Say, deputy, you mind stepping over here for a second? Thanks for dropping by, Junior. Thanks a lot. See you later, huh?
Now what, Wren?
Tell me, can a prisoner make a complaint around this here jail?
What do you mean, complaint?
Here's what I said. There are a few things I don't like around here. First of all, the food. It stinks. Then there's that other thing there.
What are you getting at?
Hey, kid! Hey! Hey, kid!
I didn't do nothing.
Nobody said you did. I just want to talk to you a minute, that's all. You know who I am?
Who don't know that? Your horse Cartwright. The one that's been holding out. And Jamie says you're just doing it for the $1 a day you get.
Now, Jimmy's wrong. Now, I know you're a good friend of Jimmy's, and that's why I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you about that money that was stolen from old Olson. Some of it was found in my pocket tonight.
Huh?
You wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
Hey, now, you ain't accusing me.
Ain't nobody accusing you of nothing. Just some of the fellas are talking like maybe Jamie might have given you some of that money to keep for him.
Oh, so Jamie's right, ain't he? You don't think he's innocent. Well, let me tell you something. He couldn't have given me that money because he didn't steal it, and he didn't shoot old man Olson neither.
Boy, how can you be sure of that?
Let me tell you something. It's the gospel truth. I told Jimmy I'd lie for him. I said that I was with him the night of the killing, give him an alibi. But he wouldn't let me. Not Jamie. He said that he was innocent and he didn't need no lies to prove it. Maybe you wouldn't understand that.
Yes, I do.
I gotta go.
Proves we're right, Taylor. Them Cartwrights. Them high and mighty Cartwrights. Listen, you boys spread this story real good. Tell everybody Cartwright had some of that stolen money on him. Spread it real thick, you hear?
We'll see to it, all right.
House, why don't you get to bed? Just standing around fretting isn't going to do any good.
I don't reckon anything's going to do any good, Paul. Oh, I wish old Roy could find some more of that stolen money.
Well, maybe he will. Meanwhile, go on up to bed. You need the rest. Tomorrow's not going to be an easy day for you.
Ain't none of them been very easy lately.
No, it's going to get rougher. Oh, that could be. Adam.
Pal? Well, what sort of a mess have you gotten yourself into?
What's the matter with you?
What sort of a mess have you gotten yourself into? And what are you doing here? Where's Joe?
He's back in Carson City with the stock. Cattle buyer sent word he wouldn't be there till Monday, so we flipped a coin to see who'd come home for a couple of days, and it looks like I lost. Well, what a reception I got in Virginia City, thanks to you.
Well, you got stuck in your craw. What happened to your hand?
I had to fatten a couple of faces because of you.
Where'd this happen?
Down to Sazerac. Wasn't my seeking. A couple of guys were shooting their mouths off about how you were taking a bribe to get Jamie Wren off, and they kept it up until I had to plow into him.
Well, that ain't the half of it.
I know. Sheriff Coffey told me the rest of it. Seems that Bud Murdoch and his friends have got the whole town suspicious of you.
I don't understand that fellow Murdoch. He wants to hang Jamie Wren so bad he can taste it. Always figured him for a pretty decent feller.
Well, sometimes even pretty decent fellas are too much in a hurry. I'm going to bet I suggest you two do the same.
Tell me something, Pa. How do you feel about Jamie Wren? You think he's guilty?
Well, I'm not going to discuss it in front of a member of the jury. Tonight?
Never figured anything had come up me and Paul couldn't discuss. I reckon the law changed all that.
Oh, now don't get him wrong. He's not feeling bad because of the family name or anything like that. Because of you. He knows you're in a heck of a spot, and he also knows that you got to make up your own mind. Well, listen, since you got me this, how about give me a hand with my horse, huh?
Yeah.
Well, if it ain't the big, brave badge man. Yes, sir. You got that badge shining like a new mirror, huh? Well, you got no rope, so I guess it ain't hanging time yet, huh? Bet you can hardly wait.
The jury's still out, son. You know I can't figure you out. I can't understand you at all. I've tried to treat you fair.
Fair? You call throwing me in this cage for something I didn't do, then hanging around like a hungry vulture waiting for the happy okay to string me up fair?
You've been yammering at me for days. Now, the time's come for me to do a little yammering. I told you I wasn't much on oratory. I think the time has come for me to speak my piece, and by gum, you're going to listen to me.
That's right, Cartwright. You talk. You talk. I'll listen. I sure will. Tell us how Jamie Wren got to you with his stolen blood money. That's the way the guilty ones always act. All they know is violence.
Now, enough of this. Sit down, Murdoch. You too, Cartwright.
Like I was saying, there's a young feller, Jamie Wren, namely, sitting over there in the jail all alone. Sitting there wondering when somebody's going to come and get him. There can't be no fear like the fear he knows. Fear of being taken out and put under a hanging tree. His hands tied behind him and a rope around his neck.
That's part of the punishment, Hoss.
If he's guilty, Mr. Breeze, if he's guilty, but what if he ain't? What if he ain't guilty? Then you're guilty of murder, ain't you? But they ain't gonna put you in that jail, none of you. They ain't gonna tie your hands behind your back and take you out and put you under a tree and put a rope around your neck, are they? Huh?
It's a lot of ifs, Hoss. None of us here have any doubt. Any doubt at all. Jamie Wren is a killer.
Ain't there, Mr. Breeze? Ain't there no doubt? Is that true, Mr. Breeze, or is it just that all of you's got it in your head to hang Jamie Wren? And there just ain't no room left in your heart for any doubt. The law's a mighty peculiar thing. It's all black or white. Yes or no. There ain't no in-betweens. It appears to me that you fellers have been thinking a lot in the black, while I've been dwelling in the in-betweens.
You can't half hang a man.
That's right. That's right, Mr. Breeze, you can't.
Well, I'm going over to the restaurant for my supper, son. I'll bring yours back with me.
Just don't stuff yourself, badge man. There won't be any scraps left for me.
All right.
Jamie? Psst, Jamie. And I got 2 horses out in the alleyway.
Hey, Hoss, you still in town?
Yeah, hi, Roy. Hey, Roy. You run on any more of that stolen money?
No, I ain't. I checked every store in this town. You know, Hoss, it does seem likely that if somebody else stole that money like you think, that there'd be more of it around. See you in the morning.
Yeah, night.
Tell me where you hid that stolen money. Admit you killed poor Olson. Hold it down, murder! You hear? Hold it down!
I'll take over now. You tried to escape, huh?
You bet he was. He'd have made it, too, if it wasn't for me. You seen that, Cartwright? You seen this murdering whelp make his escape? You think he's innocent now?
Murdoch, you better come along with me. As soon as I lock him up, you can give me your full story. Come on.
I tried, Jamie. I really tried.
You come along, too, Junior. Come on.
You tried, Junior. I reckon we both did.
How'd it go today?
Not too good, I'm afraid. How's the hand?
Coming along real good. Sheriff Coffey find any more of that marked money?
Well, Jamie Rand tried to escape jail tonight.
Sure doesn't do him any good.
Nope. Makes me wonder if I ain't been wrong about him all along.
You're changing your mind, huh?
Yeah, I reckon I am. I guess it's about time I started doing like Paul said, start thinking about the evidence and not so much about my feelings.
That's kind of what a juryman's supposed to do.
Just one thing that bothers me. Adam, you do me a favor?
Yeah, sure. What is it?
Well, look, I gotta know for sure. I gotta know for certain that Olson recognized Jamie Wren that night and not just thought he did.
Well, Sheriff Coffey said they tested his eyes in court.
Well, they gave him a printed page of small print to read, and he read it right off, but that ain't the same as recognizing a man in the dark and from a distance, especially when you're in shock from seeing your only brother shot down right before your own eyes.
See what you're getting at. What would you like me to do?
I'd like for you to go out there and talk to him. Go out there while he's calm and collected and talk to him. Check on him. Make sure, Adam. I gotta know absolutely sure.
Why haven't you talked to him yourself?
Well, I thought about it, but the judge said we jurymen are not supposed to talk to anybody about the case except in the jury room. But I figured you being my brother, you know.
I understand. All right, Missouri Mule. I'll talk to him. It's nice and dark tonight, too. I'll find out just how good his eyes really are.
Well, that'll take care of the paperwork. Now, if you just sign this report, Mr. Murdoch. Thank you very much.
Nothing of it. Just happened to be in the right place at the right time. Say, Sheriff, did you catch the look on Cartwright's face when he realized Wren was trying to escape? You know, Wren, I think the jury will finally reach a verdict of guilty tomorrow.
You got a dirty soul, ain't you, Murdoch? A dirty, vicious soul. And you got the devil's taste for pushing misery on those that can't fight back. You talk about me killing. You got your own special way of murdering. Listen, if I had killed 10 times over, I wouldn't trade my soul for yours.
I don't have to take that from you, right?
Mr. Murdoch, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. I don't allow nobody badgering my prisoner.
Just remember something, Sheriff. He wouldn't be your prisoner no more if it wasn't for me. Now, that sort of makes him my prisoner, too, doesn't it? Hmm?
Yeah?
Hey, Sheriff.
Yeah?
Is that true, what he said? I mean, about the jury coming in with a verdict tomorrow?
I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me none. After all, Hoss Cartwright was the only juryman that was holding out for you, and you had to go and pull this foolish jailbait right in front of him.
Well, it's like I've said. There's some people born lucky. No rhyme, no reason. Just born lucky. And there's others that have trouble dribble on them all their lives, like sand in an hourglass. Dribbling down and piling up.
Now, don't get too far down in the dumps, Jamie. I mean, after all, we don't know for sure if Hoss is going to change his mind.
Hey, Badge Man, where's that supper you was gonna bring us, huh?
Yeah, we're hungry.
That's right.
You get it, boys, just as soon as my deputy gets back.
Adam Cartwright. Yeah, Mr. Olson?
Over here, Adam.
Evening, Elmer. I just came by to pay my respects. I'm sorry about your brother.
Glad to see you, Adam. Come on in. I'll light up the oil lamp.
Yeah, I didn't see you light when I rode up. I thought maybe you were asleep.
I don't burn the lamp much, Adam. Oil costs money. Besides, I got eyes like a cat.
Yeah, so I just found out.
Hey, won't you sit down, Adam?
Thanks.
Did Hoss tell you to come out here?
Yes, Yalmer, as a matter of fact, he did. I just got back in town, and we were talking about it, and he's still kind of concerned about the testimony at the trial, you know, as to whether or not you saw what you said you saw, and, well, we talked, and I agreed to come over and maybe, you know, go over it with you once more, real careful-like, and maybe help him make up his mind.
Well, you can see for yourself what good eyes I got.
Yeah, sure gave me a start out there in the dark.
Well, if you went back and told that to Hoss, wouldn't that satisfy him?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, then Hoss could vote with the jury, and then they could bring in a verdict of guilty against Jamie Wren.
Yeah, but I can't tell Hoss how to vote.
Oh, I know that, Adam. All I'm looking for is a way to end it, once and for all. First, I wanted to see Wren hung for what he did. I wanted vengeance for my brother. Adam, maybe the jury could just give Jamie a life sentence.
Well, of course, the jury doesn't determine the sentence. It'll be up to the judge. But I don't know. Crane's kind of got his hands tied. Jury comes in with a guilty verdict, I feel pretty sure you'll sentence him to hang.
So be it then.
Tell me, Elmer, where exactly was that box when Jamie took it?
Oh, I'll tell you all about it, Adam. You see, I was oversleeping in that bed, and my brother was over here.
Yeah?
And this noise woke me up, and I looked over, and I saw Jamie Wren at the fireplace, and he'd found the money box behind the stone. Well, my brother was scuffling with him. I jumped out of bed and ran to help him, and there was a shot. My brother fell. Jamie grabbed the money box and ran.
How do you suppose he knew where the box was hidden?
Oh, folks around here know we are frugal, Adam. They figure we got a hoard hidden someplace, and, well, where else in here would you hide a money box up in the fireplace?
Yeah, you're right. That's a nice one, too. Matter of fact, you and your brother did a very good job on this place.
My brother didn't help me. I did it all by myself, this whole place with my own hands. My brother wasn't very good with tools, Adam.
Yeah, I understand. This whole thing's been a sorrowful mess.
Yes, it sure has. Oh, Adam, tell me, Jamie Wren, after they hang him, what then?
Boy comes from a poor family. End up on Boot Hill, I suppose.
Well, Adam, I want to make a contribution. See to it that Jamie gets a headstone.
Very generous of you, Elmer. Well, thanks for your time. I'm sorry about your brother. I better be getting along.
Oh, I'll walk you out, Adam.
Hey, Elmer, it's kind of a long ride back, and all that talk made me thirsty. I think I'll have some of your well water.
Adam, I got a fresh bucket in the house. I'll go get it.
Well, don't trouble yourself. Well's right here.
Wait a minute, Adam. You're my guest. Let me.
Oh, thanks, Elmer. Got a loose stone there. You ought to get that fixed. Thanks. Good night. Say the whole thing was kind of accidental. Anyway, when I rode off, all the pieces sort of fell together, and I decided to double back. And I found him there with the money.
What do you got to say for yourself, Mr. Olson?
Well, my brother was always wanting to spend our money, buy land. Money's too precious to squander like that. We argued, and I killed him.
But what did you want to try to throw the blame on Jamie Wren for?
Because he was the easiest one, always getting into trouble, sassing people. Everybody knew he was no good. Who'd ever think he was innocent? Sorry I put that dollar in your pocket, horse. I just had to do it. I wanted them to think you was mixed up in it.
Mr. Olson, I don't understand, huh? How could you let an innocent man die for a crime you'd committed?
Well, it was the law said he had to die, not me. I was willing to chip in for a headstone for him.
That's mighty big of you. Would you listen to that now? Would you listen to that? Well, badge man, you're gonna let me out of here? You're gonna keep me cooped up in this stinking hole all night long?
Now, you take it easy, Jamie. Come on, Olson.
You got the wrong man in here. Come on, let me out of here. Yes, sir, badge man. You keep that badge polished. Who knows? Someday he might even make U.S. Marshal, huh? Well, you're a big man, Cartwright. Yeah. You really are a big man. Well, see you around, citizens.
You know, Paul, you was right.
Not one.
You said a man was never wrong when he stood up for what he thought was right.
And jury trials are going to be the death of me yet. Now I got to go out and arrest that Ralph Black for stealing chickens, and he'll probably want a jury trial, too. Where in the world am I going to get anybody to sit on a jury for Hey, you fellas could help me out. Just this once, huh? It pays $1 a day. All you have to do is sit down.
We've been friends for such a long time, Ben. I'm sure you understand how I feel about it.
Of course I understand it.
I guess I'm just sentimental about the old place. What is it, Ben?
Something familiar about that man over there.
And besides, I don't really need the money.
Of course.
Well, what time is the next stage?
Sacramento stage in about an hour.
You sure there's nothing sooner?
No, mister, that's it. Emily, excuse me. That man, I'm sure I know him.
Give me a ticket on that Sacramento stage, please.
Excuse me, sir, but it is Frank Medford, isn't it?
I don't believe that Ben Cartwright.
Frank, doggone it. It's good to see you.
I didn't know you were in this part of the country.
Well, I live here. Emily, I want you to meet Frank Medford, the bravest, finest man I ever knew.
Oh, come on, Ben.
No, it's true. It's true. This is Miss Emily Koufax.
Pleasure, Miss Koufax.
How do you do?
During the wild days of my misspent youth, Frank and I conquered Nicaragua.
The two of you?
Well, there were a few hundred others along.
Well, we didn't need them. At least he didn't need them.
Well, I have to be getting home. Will you be in town long, Mr. Medford?
Colonel Medford, ma'am. I don't know. My schedule is rather rigid. Long enough to have the pleasure again, I hope.
Perhaps. It's been very nice seeing you. Goodbye, Ben.
Oh, bye, Emily. Now, what are you doing in Virginia City?
Well, I'm just passing through, Ben. I'm on my way to Sacramento.
Well, you're going to have to spend a few days at my place.
I have business.
Look, after all these years, you're not going to get away as easily as all that.
Well,
No,
Michael,
it's
you
settled,
seem very-
Frank. It's settled. It's all settled. Now, come on.
Come back. Here, let me take that.
Run a step, Frank.
You never could keep step, Cartwright.
Hey, hip, two. Hey, hip, two.
only 6 good-looking girls in that whole village. And there were 70 of us, remember? Well, I went into the one and only cantina, and there was Ben Cartwright with 4 of those girls all to himself. Now, what makes that feat even more remarkable is the fact that at that time, your father could not speak one word of Spanish.
Come on, Pa, how'd you do it?
Oh, the only thing I remember is that afternoon in the Plaza Royale. We'd just beaten off the troops, and there were, I don't know, 6 of us to keep some sort of order in the plaza. And then they attacked again. Oh, maybe 100 of them charging down the street. The thing I do remember is Frank standing all alone in the middle of that plaza, bullets kicking up all around him, cigars stuck in his teeth, lighting grenades and tossing them as fast as he could. He broke up that first charge single-handed. It'd have killed every one of us. Frank, I think that's the bravest thing I ever saw. They should have given you a medal for that.
Well, they did after you left. That was when I was promoted to colonel.
After all, it's the least I could do for saving my pa's life.
Oh, Hoss!
Oh, hi, Paul. Didn't know we had company.
Someone here I want you to meet. Now, remember me telling you once my ship was laid up, and I heard there was a little excitement down in Nicaragua?
You ain't figured on going back?
Oh, possibly. Well, this is the fellow that talked me into going there years ago. Colonel Frank Medford, my son Eric, better known as Hoss.
I'm pleased to meet you, Hoss.
Thank you, sir. Pleased to meet you, Colonel. My Paul's had a lot of good things to say about you. Paul, have you heard from Adam?
Oh, yeah, I had a telegram. I think he's going to make the deal.
Hot dogs.
Then tomorrow, I'll go into town to see about the land. A little business deal we're working on, Frank.
Little? We pull it off, it'll be about the biggest thing that's ever happened around here.
Isn't it wonderful to be young? When you're young, every deal is the biggest.
Yes, I remember. You know, Ben, I often wondered how you made out after we said goodbye in Nicaragua. I see now I had no reason to worry about you.
Well, I've no complaints, Frank.
From all appearances, you're a man of wealth.
I have my 3 sons. They're my wealth. What about yourself? I always figured you'd wind up at least a general.
Well, soldiers of fortune, Ben, aren't really much in demand. So I went into commerce. And, well, I never married. I don't know, too busy making money, I guess.
I've seen it happen. Oh, you're here on business, then?
Yes, you might say that. I'm a director for the Haverford Company. They deal in farming and ranching equipment, you know.
Yes, and I do know indeed. Big company. I thought their operations were back east.
We're expanding. That's why I'm here. I'm going to open up these western states of yours as new territory.
I can get you all the business you want right here in Virginia City. Introduce you to all the right people.
That wouldn't be necessary, Ben.
I insist.
But, Ben,
No arguments.
It was nice of you to drop by, Emily.
My brother and I have been wondering why you turned down Ben Cartwright's offer for your land.
Oh, it's out of sentiment, I suppose. It was my father's ranch, and I just keep hoping that someday I'll be able to put it to the proper use.
Oh, Miss Emily. Frank, this is Asa and Will Flanders, one of my oldest and best friends, Colonel Frank Medford. And of course, you know Miss Emily.
Yes, I do.
Any friend of Ben's always welcome here.
Pleasure, sir.
How are you, sir?
Nice to meet you.
Colonel, this is a surprise. I thought you might have left town.
Oh, I talked him out of that. As a matter of fact, he'll be here for a few more days, whether he likes it or not. I just thought I'd introduce the Colonel to some of the town's influential citizens.
You're from the East, Colonel?
Yes, New York and Philadelphia, mostly. I'm out here now trying to get the feel of this area.
Anything specific in mind?
I'd rather not divulge that at the moment, gentlemen. However, confidentially, don't be surprised if some big Eastern money moves here soon.
Really?
Yes, as a matter of fact, if things work out as I feel they will, the sky may be the limit.
Well, this all sounds very mysterious and important.
Well, I know that you gentlemen have business to discuss, so, Ben, if you have any other stops in mind.
Well, Frank, I need a few minutes with Will and Asa, but I thought we'd have lunch.
Fine.
I have to be going, too. Goodbye again, Colonel.
Miss Colfax.
Oh, Emily, why don't you have lunch with us? Frank, suppose you take Miss Emily to the hotel, and I'll join you in a few minutes, if you're free.
I would be honored, Miss Colfax.
If I won't be keeping you from anything.
Not at all. Well, gentlemen, a pleasure to meet you.
Colonel? Well, what's the answer to my offer?
Ben, we haven't quite made up our minds yet.
Well, I don't think you'll get a better deal. You've been trying to sell Alder Valley for over a year without any takers.
Well, that's just it. All of a sudden, you want to make a fast deal. Why? You holding something back on us, Ben?
Asa, I'll tell you exactly why I want Alder Valley. Right at this very moment, my son Adam is trying to buy the whole Crotrack brand.
They're selling out?
Yes, they are. And that means about 3,000 head of cattle. Now, Adam can't close the deal until I'm assured of grazing land.
You don't have enough grazing land on the Ponderosa?
Not with an additional herd of that size. Now, gentlemen, I really do need an answer today, one way or another.
It sounds fine to me, Ben.
Good.
How about it, Asa?
I think I'd like to talk some more.
Well, all right. I'll be having lunch. You know where I'll be. Thank you.
Bye, Ben.
You ruined the whole deal. I just think he's up to something.
I don't care if he is. We're getting our money, aren't we? I'm going to take the deal.
You mark my words. You'll see that I'm right.
You didn't.
I did. Rode right into the president's ball on a white mule. And won my bet with Commodore Vanderbilt.
Well, what did they do?
The president had me thrown out bodily.
You deserved it.
I agree. What hurts, though, is that he still hasn't given me back my white mule.
Oh, now you are exaggerating.
Well, lovely ladies always inspire me to my best efforts. Now, if you were to walk into Rector's or Delmonico's, I guarantee you'd turn every head.
You do exaggerate.
No. Not one little bit.
If you'd like to come in, I'll have Martha make some refreshments.
Well, thank you, Miss Emily, but I do have some business to attend to.
I've enjoyed this afternoon more than you can imagine.
Oh, but I can imagine. I know how much I have enjoyed it.
Good day, Colonel.
Good day, Miss Emily.
Well, I waited dinner for you, Miss Emily.
Oh, I'm sorry, Martha. I was detained at lunch by a gentleman.
A gentleman, Miss Emily?
Yes, a fine gentleman from the East. Oh, now, Martha, don't look so shocked. He's a very dear friend of Ben Cartwright's. I think he may come calling.
Well, I think that would be very nice.
Do you? I wonder.
Miss Emily, 8 years is too long to sorrow over a young man who died. Now, when this gentleman comes calling, you be ready for him. That's what I say.
All right, Martha. He is a very exciting gentleman. And it would be fun again.
Clerk.
Yes, sir.
How much is that ticket to Sacramento?
$7.50.
I don't seem to have that much on me. How far can I go for $2?
Nowhere I know of. Mister, looks like you're stuck here for a little bit.
forget about this patent reaper of yours.
Very high profit item, Mr. Austin.
I can't store nothing that size. Same goes for these gang harrows and cultivators.
But they move very fast, sir. You might not even have time to uncrate them.
You drummers, you're all the same. You'd lie to your own mothers. Look, mister, the most I can see my way clear to taking on be one of them plows.
One plow? Out of all that I've shown you?
One plow. That one, right there.
I thought you were a man of vision and enterprise, Mr. Austin.
Take it or leave it, mister.
I will take it. Now, let me see now. That's $15 wholesale. Mr. Austin, I wonder if you could possibly let me have, say, $750 of that on deposit now.
I pay on delivery.
Yes, I know, but it happens I'm short of cash right now.
Oh, ordinarily, I don't do business that way, but since you're a friend of Ben Cartwright's, all right. I'll draw up a receipt.
Thank you, sir.
Colonel, how nice to see you.
Why, good morning, Miss Emily.
What can I do for you, Miss Colfax?
Oh, you two go on. I want to look at some material.
Mr. Austin, as a matter of fact, I do have some other appointments. Why don't I come back later?
No need. Won't take but a minute.
Well, Miss Emily, you look very pretty this morning.
Thank you.
Oh, good morning, Emily.
Asa?
Colonel, what are you doing? Buying yourself a store?
No, not this morning, Mr. Flanders.
Just sign here, Colonel.
Oh, Mr. Austin, why don't I drop by and pick up that other item later?
Just as easy to do it now.
Well, thank you very much, but I'll come back. Miss Emily, if you are through, I would be honored to walk you home.
That's very kind of you.
Oh, when can I expect delivery on the plow?
Within 10 weeks, Mr. Austin.
All right. Don't forget the $750.
I won't, Mr. Austin. Be assured of it.
I beg your pardon, Colonel. Do I understand that you're selling Austin a plow?
Plows, Mr. Flanders, plows. 750 of them, to be precise.
750 plows?
Exactly. Mr. Austin should triple his money within 6 months. You see, it's a brand new item which has just been released on the market by a firm which I help to organize. Since Mr. Austin is a friend of Mr. Cartwright's, I thought I'd do him a small favor.
Well, that was very generous of you.
Colonel, I know this country pretty well. Why, Austin couldn't sell 750 plows around here in 10 years.
Well, I wouldn't be too certain of that were I you, Mr. Flanders, particularly in view of certain negotiations in which I am involved.
Oh, what kind of negotiations?
Asa, don't be so inquisitive.
What were you going to say, Colonel?
Can I trust you to be discreet, Mr. Flanders?
Why, of course.
I'm involved in a project of vast importance.
What kind of project?
Transportation.
You mean a railroad?
Well, please, no more for the moment. Don't press me further.
Well, you've taken Austin in. I mean, that's why he's buying all those plows from you, isn't it? After all, Colonel, I'm a friend of Ben Cartwright's, too.
No more right now, I beg you.
Of course. Really, Asa, I'm ashamed of you.
Well, Emily, business is business. Right, Colonel?
But not at the expense of manners. Come along, Colonel.
Mr. Flanders. Well, this has been most pleasant. I'm sorry that our acquaintance has been so brief.
Then you really are leaving tomorrow.
Yes, I'm afraid that I must.
This is a bit forward, but since you are leaving so soon, perhaps I can be forgiven. Could we have lunch again, Colonel?
Well, I don't know, Emily. I do have some unfinished business with Mr. Austin.
Please. Only this time, instead of your taking me to the restaurant, I'll have Martha fix us a picnic basket, and we can go out by the lake.
Why, that sounds splendid. I haven't been on a picnic for a long time. You've made this a very lovely afternoon, Miss Emily.
Oh, just Emily, please. It has been lovely.
I don't remember when I've known such peace and contentment. I hate the thought of leaving.
Do you have to?
Yes.
Will you be coming back, Frank?
That's hard to say, Emily.
I don't suppose a man like you finds many attractions in Virginia City.
Oh, that's where you're wrong. I have found more genuine friendship here in a day or so than I dreamed possible. You see, Emily, I'm actually a very lonely man.
I find that hard to believe. Well, why don't you just stop? Settle down someplace.
I can't, Emily.
Surveying for your old railroad that important? Sorry, I guess I shouldn't have mentioned that. It's a secret, isn't it?
It's silly, isn't it? That I have to keep secrets, even from you. Emily, a man can be trapped by responsibilities. Building bridges, digging tunnels, deciding railroad rights of way.
Those are very important things, aren't they?
There's more to it than that. Now, that's all I know how to do.
If you could, would you stop traveling?
Like a shot. But it's not very practical, I'm afraid.
There goes the Colonel and Emily Colfax. He gets around pretty good for a stranger in town.
Well, he probably seems exciting to Emily. She's led quite a lonely life these past few years.
Colonel and his talk about big secret deals. I can't figure him.
Then don't try, Asa. Maybe you better use your time helping me figure the taxes on the Smathers sale.
Ah, that's penny-ante stuff. That's the trouble with you, Will. You don't think big like Ben Cartwright, or even the Colonel.
You do the big thinking, Asa. I'll penny-ante our living.
Doesn't it strike you as a coincidence that Ben Cartwright made a fast land deal with us just as the Colonel comes into town to scout for a railroad?
Oh, Asa, from what you told me, the Colonel didn't really say all that.
He didn't have to say it. It was plain without it. I tell you, Will, he and Ben are up to something.
Then that's their business.
Well, not when Ben Cartwright is using our land to make himself a nice fat profit, it's not.
Where are you going?
Boss, here comes Asa. Asa, good to see you. Saved me a trip.
Oh, about that option on Alder Valley?
Yep, got to exercise that option before the time runs out.
We need that land pretty bad. Adam's already on his way with that crow track herd.
Yeah, he got it all right.
I'm sorry to hear that. I came out here to get that option back.
Asa, we made a deal.
I wouldn't have made that deal if I would have known what you and the Colonel were working on.
Colonel and I aren't working in anything. Colonel went to Sacramento yesterday.
I just talked to him this morning.
Oh. Well, I guess he's selling some of his farm equipment.
About that other thing. That secret project he's working on.
What are you talking about, Asa?
Emily Colfax, that land of hers. He wouldn't be trying to do something with that, would he? Like the right-of-way to a railroad?
Asa, what the devil are you talking about?
All right, if that's the way you want to leave it. But I'm sure going to talk to a lawyer about getting that option back.
What's all that talk about the railroad and the Colonel, Paul?
I don't know. I'm sure gonna find out.
Oh, hello, Emily.
Ben.
Do you know where I might be able to find Frank Medford?
Won't you come in?
Well, I tried the hotel, and they said they didn't know anything about him there.
I've been trying to tell you he's here. Now, will you come in?
Oh, thank you.
He's upstairs washing up. I invited him to dinner.
Oh, well, perhaps I'd better come
Oh,
back.
no, will you join us?
No, thank you. I really just want a word with him.
I'm so pleased you introduced us. He's certainly a fascinating gentleman.
Well, I'm glad that you're getting along so well.
Why, Ben, I didn't expect to see you.
Well, I didn't expect to see you either, Frank. I checked all around town, went to the hotel, and they didn't
Oh,
see
yes. Well, they were full up. I had to go to a rooming house. May I, Emily?
Certainly.
Well, Ben, what is it?
Well, thank you. Asa Flanders came out to see me, and he started talking about some project that you and I are supposed to be involved in.
Asa Flanders?
Yeah.
You must be imagining things.
Well, he seemed pretty positive, so...
Oh, I don't know where he could get hold of such a wild idea, Ben. Ben, you're suspecting me of something.
Oh, no, not Frank. No, of course not, really.
Now, admit it.
No, of course I'm not.
Emily, what do you do with a man like that?
Ben, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
You know, Ben, this must all stem from a slight misunderstanding which occurred at the general store this morning. Asa Flanders was there. He must have misinterpreted some of the things that I said.
Well, I know Asa. He's full of suspicions and frustrations. Well, it must have happened that way.
However, if anything does come up, rest assured you'll be in on it.
That's very kind of you, Frank. Look, why stay in a rooming house? Why not come back to the Ponderosa?
Well, I'm leaving tomorrow anyway, Ben.
Oh. I suppose we can't ask you to stay any longer, can we? We'll make sure that we see each other before you leave.
Count on it.
Emily?
Goodbye, Ben.
Frank.
Ben.
Frank, I didn't know you were leaving so soon.
Well, I don't want to, Emily, but I have no choice.
What about your railroad project?
Our little secret? Well, I've done all I can on that, my dear. Now I really must be moving along.
Frank, would you call for me in the morning with my buggy? I'd like to show you something.
What are you scheming?
You'll see. And now come in to dinner, or Martha will have our scalps.
Good morning, Miss Emily.
Good morning, Emily. I was just coming to have a word with you.
Perhaps later. The Colonel and I are going for a drive in the country.
The Colonel seems to enjoy looking over our neck of the woods. I'll be frank with you, Colonel. My brother and I'd like to be cut into that railroad deal of yours.
Well, my dear Mr. Flanders, I've already explained to you I'm not at liberty to discuss that matter.
Really, Asa?
Well, as I said, Emily, business is business. Just tell me one thing, Colonel. What direction is that railroad coming into town?
I'm sorry, I can't tell you anything at all.
And now we must be going. Stop here, Frank.
Ooh. Oh, this place, what is it?
It's mine. My father left it to me when he died.
Why, it's beautiful, Emily.
There's over 4,500 acres here.
No one's living here? No one's working it?
No.
It seems a shame. You know, if it had been me, I would have had the house on that knoll right over there.
I've had my eye on that very spot.
Oh, you've got grass and you've got water all year round. Why, you could run 200, 300 head of cattle here with no trouble at all. Look at that meadow over there. That meadow is crying for corn and wheat. You'll still have plenty of room for your kitchen crop. Oh, Emily, there's so much that could be done here.
Yes. But it takes a man to do it. Frank, I know this isn't very big or very important after the kind of things you've been doing. But I thought that...
I know what you're thinking, Emily. And I thank you for it. But you should forget about me. I wouldn't be worthy of you.
Not worthy? Don't you think you ought to let me decide that?
Emily, there are things about me that you don't know.
I'm sure there are. I can't imagine there's anything so dreadful that it would make me change my feelings.
I know myself. And once you came to know me, your feelings would change, believe me.
But when you love someone, what they've been or done in the past is unimportant.
No, Emily, no. I'm saying this for your own good. Please, forget me.
I see. Well, I guess I found out what's really important to you. Would you drive me home, please?
Emily!
Now go away. Leave her be.
Emily! Emily, will you marry me?
Frank, what?
Emily, I love you. Will you marry me?
Yes. Oh, yes, darling.
Come in, Pa. 3,000 head of them. Herd's bedded down about 12 miles out. Adam said he'd drive him into the valley sometime tomorrow.
Oh, that's great news. That's really good news. How is Adam?
Oh, he's fine. Crew's all right, too.
Good.
What about the cattle?
The cattle are just so-so right now, but they've been 2 days without water. Give them a couple of days in that valley, you won't find better-looking stock anywhere.
Oh, that's great news. Great news. First thing in the morning, we're going to take these supplies out to Adam.
Listen, he said he wanted one of Hop Singh's apple pies and some coffee he doesn't have to chew.
Hey, look. Why wait till tomorrow? How come little Joe and I don't load it up and take it on out there now, Paul?
That's a wonderful idea. Go tell Hop Sing to get that apple pie ready.
Will do.
Well, this is a surprise. What's this? I've never seen such two beaming faces.
Ben, we have wonderful news. Frank and I are going to be married.
Well, aren't you going to congratulate us, Ben?
Well, of course I am, of course.
Ben, you should have warned me. The colonel just swept me off my feet.
Well, this day is just full of the best news. When's the big occasion?
Tomorrow at noon.
Really?
Well, we've made all the arrangements, and my wedding dress is ready.
Well, of course. Why not? The sooner the better.
Ben, I'd like you to give me away.
Well, Emily, I'd be honored. Frank, you don't have a best man.
Well, no, not now, Ben. I was hoping you, but...
Hoss. Hoss is the man for you. And both of you, please, you must do me this favor. Please be married here on the Ponderosa.
Well, Ben, we had planned to be married at Emily's house.
Well, after all, I did bring you two together.
Ben, we couldn't impose on you.
Emily, I insist. Please.
Thank you for everything, Ben.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Now, Martha, you mustn't cry now.
Miss Emily, I've saved my tears for your wedding for 8 years. Don't deny me now. Oh, I'm so happy.
Right over there, sir.
Right, Pa.
Yes, sir. What with the music? All the ladies crying, ain't nothing like a wedding, is it?
Huh? Wonder why we don't have one of our own around here, then.
Paul, what I meant is, I like weddings as a spectator only.
You know what he means. He likes to kiss the bride without paying the price.
Oh, come on, let's get dressed.
If you're going to drink, go over to the saloon. This office is for work.
I've been working, Will. I've been studying. I've been studying how Ben Cartwright stole this land from us. And then that lawyer Nelson saying we can't do nothing about it.
Once and for all, Asa, will you get off that subject? We made a deal fair and square. Now stop trying to make something else out of it.
Nights that I lay awake, thinking, planning, so that I'd know the chance. The big one, when it came. And then they stole it. Right out from underneath our nose.
Asa, you sicken me. You're brooding over missed chances. Where do you think it's going to get you?
Better than thinking like a penny-pinching bookkeeper all the time.
My penny-pinching bookkeeper's mind is what's kept us solvent and respectable all these years.
But this time I'm right, Will. Can't you see that a railroad right away through our valley could bring us a fortune? If I could only get that land back.
We made the deal. Now get those suspicions out of your greedy little mind. Go home and sober up.
Hoss, how much longer do we have to wait?
Well, until the bride's ready, Colonel. You might as well get used to waiting. You got a lot of doof now.
Hello, Mr. Cartwright.
Miss Altman, Miss Blanchard. Don't the Colonel make a mighty handsome bridegroom, though?
He certainly does.
Colonel, stop your worrying. Why, you used to dodge bullets in battle. They tell me that getting married ain't much worse.
Oh, you really are helpful.
Well, it's a part of the tradition, Joe. You're supposed to sort of jubilate the bridegroom. Like, forgetting the ring.
Oh, come on.
Hoss, you didn't.
No, just teasing you, Colonel. Got it right there.
That's it. It's your last chance to run for the door.
No, not for anything in this world.
Talk to you. Asa, please. I came here to get our land back. We're having a wedding here. This is no time to discuss business. I say it is. You cheated us out of Alder Valley. We'll discuss it later. We'll discuss it now. I want that option back. Look, Asa, I have 3,000 head of cattle due late today. I'm not going to let those cattle die because of some fool notion in your head. We have a deal, and that's that. You really wanted that land for a railroad right-of-way. You and the Colonel been conniving ever since he came into town. He said, you're drunk. Now, please, admit it! You've been talking about that railroad coming through town. You said that he was involved in it. Now, you gonna deny that?
I certainly am. My business here is my private affair. You have no right to question me.
Asa, you've been prying into the Colonel's business ever since he came into town.
Asa, we've had enough of this. Now, please get out. You're all in this together. But I'm gonna get the truth out of you, Cartwright. You Cartwrights think you can get away with anything. But this time you're going to find out you're wrong.
Flanders, listen to me. Nobody stole your land for a railroad right-of-way. Believe me.
Believe you? Why should I believe you?
Because there is no railroad. Because there is no right-of-way.
You see, Asa? It was all in your imagination. You dreamt it up. Now, please, let us get on with the wedding. And it was you, Colonel. You're nothing but a liar. Everything that you said is nothing but a pack of lies. Well,
What about it, Colonel?
Yes, that's right. Nothing but a pack of lies.
Frank, you don't have to answer such a ridiculous statement.
It's not a ridiculous statement, Emily. At last, someone is telling the truth, Ben. I did allow him to think I was surveying for a railroad. I did allow him to think that you were in on it. I lied, just as he says.
Dirty, lousy. Let me make a fool out of myself. You made a fool out of everybody.
Listen!
I'm sorry, Ben. I'm sorry about everything. But if he was my friend, I'd run him out of town on a rail.
Emily,
Who cares about an old railroad?
No, it's not just the railroad, Emily. I lied about everything. I'm nobody. I don't know any of those important people I talked about. I'm not a director in a company. I'm just Frank Medford, a traveling salesman.
Why? Why?
Why? Because, Ben, ever since those days in Nicaragua when I was a so-called hero, when the village girls cheered us as liberators, nothing exciting, nothing important has ever happened to me.
You felt you had to try to keep on being a hero, make yourself important by lying. You didn't have to do that, Frank. Not for me.
I tried not to, Ben. That first day that I saw you in Virginia City, I was trying to get away. I tried to leave after that. But then I was trapped. And then I needed to be someone important. Someone like you. You are everything I ever wanted to be. And you've done everything I ever wanted to do as a man. One thing I did not lie about, Ben. I love Emily. With all my heart.
Ben, I don't want to hear any excuses for it.
Excuses? I think what Frank did today took courage. A tremendous amount of courage. What he did in Nicaragua took a lot of courage. But what he did today, he humiliated himself before the very people whose respect and admiration he needed. That took a greater kind of courage.
Ben, I'm a woman. There's something more important. A few minutes ago, I was going to be married to a man I thought loved me.
He does love you. That's the one truth in his life.
Truth. I've got to be sure. How do I know he wasn't lying when he said he loved me?
Emily, tell me something. Have you been happy these past 8 years? Since that young man died on the eve of what was to have been your wedding?
You know I haven't.
Well, haven't you used your grief as a crutch to keep going? Well, Frank uses his lies as a crutch. I don't say he's right. But maybe we all need some kind of crutch occasionally. Five minutes ago, you said you loved him. Now, have your feelings changed so completely in so short a time?
I don't know. How will I ever know if
he loves you? Trust him. Give him a chance to prove it. Emily, there isn't much time. Frank, we have some unfinished business. Give me those bags.
Emily,
Now, you heard what Ben said.
Emily, you know the kind of man I am.
Yes, I know. But you're also the kind of man who was going to marry me.
In spite of all you know, you still want to marry me?
Yes. I love you, Frank.
Frank, I always thought you were a man of action.
Thank you, Frank.
ভালোবাসার পরশ পেয়ে অস্থির আমি গেছি হয়ে ভালোবাসার পরশ পেয়ে অস্থির আমি গেছি হয়ে সারা অঙ্গ জুড়ে আমার এসেছে ফাগুন চল নৌকা ডুবি খেলবো খেলা আজ দুজনায় চল নৌকা ডুবি খেলবো খেলা আজ দুজনায় বাড়ির কাছে ভরা নদী শেষে জোয়ার ভাটা শেষ হলে শুকনো বালুর চর বাড়ির কাছে ভরা নদী শেষে জোয়ার ভাটা শেষ হলে শুকনো বালুর চর ঢেউয়ের তালে তুলতে চলে আমার নাই চার চল নৌকা ডুবি খেলবো খেলা আজ দুজনায় চল নৌকা ডুবি খেলবো খেলা আজ দুজনায় জ্বলা ভরা বসন্ত ঘুমিয়ে থাকা মনটা আমার বড়ই অশান্ত ফাগুন মাসের আগুন জ্বলা ভরা বসন্ত